Activision Blizzard Media's second esports tournament, the Agency Showdown. It's time for day 2, and bringing you all the action is myself, Infinity, once again joined by my American counterpart on the other side of the Atlantic. It's Alan, aka iHoldShift. How are you doing today, bud?
Good, man. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. You know, yesterday we had a little bit of a skill disparity, I think, between a lot of the players. But now as we get into the quarterfinals, then eventually tomorrow into the semis and the grand finals, you're going to see pretty quickly that there are a couple of people out there that have a good handle on the game and will likely be looking to head their trio of their squad to make their way into that grand finals tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who do not know what this tournament is, maybe this is your first time watching the Agency Showdown. Well, this is something of a little fun tournament between all of the agencies under Activision Blizzard. Just a real fun and exciting way for everybody to connect, even though we're all apart, of course. Again, this is a chance for everyone to be social from a distance, as is the best way to be social at the moment. There is a fair bit on the line as well. There's obviously the glory of being the best agency and some super cool glyphs along the way. But just before we get into any of the action tonight, we do have 4 matches ready to bring you guys. Let's talk about the rules and the formatting for those of you who are new to today's stream. So again, for the formatting, it's pretty simple. This has been a single elimination bracket, 16 teams entered. We're now down to our final 8. We'll be down to our final 4 by the end of tonight. Every single match is played in Search and Destroy. It's best of 3. And if you're not familiar with Search and Destroy, it's round-based elimination play. There is an objective in the game as well, just to get a bomb, stick it down on a bomb site. If you win on the offense, well, you take the round. And again, first to 11 in every single Search and Destroy setting, as you guys can see on screen right now as well. There's a few rules there that these guys have to abide by, basically just telling you, follow the rules. If you don't, we'll knock you out. We'll get rid of you.
Indeed the case, yeah. It's one of those things that as we take a look at this bracket coming through, we had a handful of teams that really kind of stood out to us, especially on the right-hand side of that bracket. Wrecking Crew and Farm Team had 3 very competent players, and they were looking like by far the strongest competitors we had. So they could potentially be meeting up in the semifinals on the right-hand side of the bracket. Over on the left-hand side, though, Flicka and Goats from State Farm, a little bit of a disparity there because Flicka was looking pretty solid with all 3. But Goats from State Farm had a bag of milk, not necessarily the item, but the player named as such. He looked really good yesterday, so we'll see what's going to happen in those matchups.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys can see here, you can see those matchups on screen right now. That's what we're going to be having. It's the off patterns versus KD conversion rates. Then we're going to be taking a look at Mindshare versus the Wrecking Crew, followed up by Flicker versus the Goats from State Farm. And then finally, we do have Farm Team versus 789. Probably the match that I'm most interested in as we talk about those games for tonight. But as you aptly say, right, we have some serious players in this tournament. I absolutely expect there to be some great play from all of these teams, from a number of specific players too. We'll get to that in just a moment. But as you guys can see again, this is the schedule as it shows up tonight, 5 p.m. And right now is what we're going to have: the off patterns versus KD conversion rates, followed up by that Mindshare versus Wrecking Crew, then Flicker versus Goats from State Farm, and finally Farm Team versus 789. So that's what we have on hand. But while we're here, I'm going to tell you guys something. You should be subscribed to this YouTube channel, because if you're not going to get notified when we go live for tomorrow's final day of action when we get down to the top 4. So make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll get notified when we do go live. Beyond that as well, you can check out the hashtag Agency Showdown on Twitter, and you can use this hashtag today at Active Blizz Media too, because we have something a little extra special. We've got some MVP awards going out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we have mentioned, even in this little rundown, a couple of players that will be up for the grabs of that MVP. So make sure you're staying in tune with all that stuff. Yeah, all the players that we kind of are looking at in this particular kind of voting process, I think are all definitely showcasing that they are the top 4 or 5 players that we've seen, at least as of yesterday. The fun thing is going to be tomorrow, everything changes, right? Because we've got 3v3 search today, but then we go right into 3v3 gunfight tomorrow, which probably should have been the format from the get-go, considering that a number of our players clearly didn't understand how search and destroy timings and stuff worked. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be fun because now some of these guys, like Sean, for instance, we saw was really good with his M4 loadout. He might not get that when it comes to gunfight because the weapon loadouts change after every 2 rounds that you play. So on a cycling through ARs,
Oh, yeah.
SMGs, pistols, and shotguns. So it's a different kind of skill gap that we're going to be looking at tomorrow. Who has the best overall handle on the weaponry when we get into that semifinals and finals?
Yeah, absolutely. And just a quick note on those MVP nominations. We do already have the players that are nominated currently. They are A Bag of Milk, Ice Badger, Mr. Wobble, and Sean Nolson. So if you guys want to vote for whichever one of those 4 players, having watched the action yesterday, which one of those 4 you think is going to be the MVP of this Agency Showdown, you can voice your opinion with the hashtag Agency Showdown on Twitter. Make sure you tag ActiveBlizzMedia in the tweet. You've got 24 hours, and that actually gives you time to see how they perform in today's matches. And I'm expecting some spicy plays from them. But while we have your attention again, let's talk about another upcoming competition. This weekend, we have the final 4 teams in the Call of Duty League playoffs, the 2020 inaugural season. It has been incredible, and it comes down to the 4 best teams of the year. Everything kicks off on Saturday, the 29th of August at 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's the London Royal Ravens taking on the Chicago Huntsmen. It's going to be an absolute stinker of a matchup. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'm so excited, man. I know for a fact that London are going to smash up Chicago. All the Chicago fans are going to be super duper upset, and I'm going to be sitting here just in complete glee. I know what's going to happen. I'm a prophet. I'm a clairvoyant.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Frio.
I've also never heard the word termed a stinker of a match in a good way before. You Brits, man, I'm
Dude,
telling you.
Yeah, you don't even know. Brits, we have.
No, I've got no idea.
Literally, we'll gloss over that as definitely not a mistake of a word used. But yeah, so I'm super excited for that, and of course for everyone at home as well. Following that, we will have the winners bracket final from the Call of Duty League playoffs, the Atlanta FaZe versus the Dallas Empire. I'm sure Alan and I both agree those 2 teams are by far and away the best, the most consistent teams of this Call of Duty League season. It's so well deserved that they are in the winners bracket finals. It is just going to be immense. And then, of course, following that, we'll have the losers bracket finals on August 29th. And then Saturday, August 30th, the finals, the match for the lion's share of $4.5 million. It still doesn't feel
nasty,
real.
Dude.
It just doesn't feel real saying the words $4.5 million when talking about Call of Duty. It's the biggest prize pool we've ever had for what used to be called champs and is now playoffs.
By a lot too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, last year we thought that we had the same conversation last year, but now we're in a world where this is looking like the sky is the limit when it comes to playing competitive. I mean, last year the top prize was $800,000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the difference between last year and this year alone is absolutely insane with all the franchising that's gone on. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Definitely make sure that you're all out there, you're tuning into that, because it's going to be a hell of a weekend to say the least.
Yeah, and you guys can catch that action at the YouTube channel. So just search Call of Duty League into the bar. You'll soon find the YouTube channel, and you can make sure that that you watch all of it. Because if you are watching today and you want to say, well, how are these guys going to improve? What is the level? That's obviously the aim. That's where everybody wants to get to as an aspiring Call of Duty player. That's the creme de la creme of Call of Duty, and I'm so excited to watch it, man. But hey, I'm also super excited for tonight's games. Of course, we have our 4 quarterfinal matchups. Of course, everything will be funneling into the semifinals that will be going on again from 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I am so excited, man. I mean, as you said at the start of this one, I kind of feel like yesterday we might have seen some mistakes from players. Today, I think now we're kind of expecting those mistakes to be streamlined out of the gameplay. I think a number of teams are going to have learned from their mistakes yesterday, and now they know that these matches matter a little bit more because you're going up against tougher teams that have already taken their first round of matchups.
Yeah, I'll just say this much for anyone who's playing today that's out there still watching. Remember, 7.5 seconds to defuse the bomb, 5.5 to plant. Okay, so if you have those times, you got to keep them in mind when you're going for those defusals in your plant times, because we don't want to see bombs blowing up in people's faces again. That's just, again, 7.5 to defuse. Remember that number specifically as you're going for those retakes. I'll say that much.
Yeah, at least if you get through today, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about bomb sites tomorrow because it's gunfight.
That's very true. Then it's just raw gun skill after that.
Yeah, and it is actually gun skill as well. Going back to the gunfight point, right? Because obviously, as you say, it's round based. Every 2 rounds you switch weapons. Everybody has the same loadout every single round. So there is nothing to differentiate these teams apart from their pure gun skill and maybe a little bit of maneuvering around the very small maps that we do get in Gunfight. But it should be super interesting to see how tomorrow does go down. But let's talk about our first match a little bit. So starting off, we have the off patterns taking on KD conversion rates. Now, from what we remember yesterday, there are a couple of players on both of these rosters that are standout. Of course, the off patterns coming from the first agency showdown, they got a top 8 placement. For KD conversion rates, look, it's lost. Icebagger, Jabo, what would you say they need to do shift? I mean, what player do you think needs to step up to the plate here today in day 2?
Well, these were two of the teams that we kind of saw. I want to say these both went to a third map when we had them. These were two of the squads that had a little bit of a tough time closing out their first round. And I couldn't really say specifically that one player needs to step up. It's just one of those things that's like, we saw a lot of just minimal awareness that led to a couple of wonky things, right? And plug in your ear set, get your earbuds on, get your headphones on. That's number one, because there are a lot of sound things. But when we start getting into these quarterfinals and then eventually, obviously, to the semis and the grand finals, it's a totally different story. But for these quarterfinals, being able to read information on the map is so important. You get a stun on somebody, communicate your teammate. Where did that stun hit? Where is that player positioned? That's so important in 3v3s. It's super, super important when you're not playing in 5v5s, 2v2s, 3v3s, anything like that. Playing off of intel is crucial. Making sure you're using your dead silence appropriately is also very important. We saw that kind of lead to a couple of follies yesterday where someone would hit their dead silence and then they would kind of sit in the middle of the map not moving. If you're going to use that dead silence, use it to take away some ground. That's the whole idea, is that you're trying to get behind the enemy lines in a sneaky fashion. So that's kind of the things that I'm mostly looking for, is if that will improve. Then just beyond that, just hit your shots. I mean, we only saw maybe a couple of players that really had true steady aim. Everyone else was a little all over the place with, their Warzone loadouts and things like that. Just take your time, hit your shots. That's the 3 real big things I can really say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is also interesting to note here that we do have 2 players in this lobby that are up for MVP. So one of those players will be eliminated by the end of this matchup. That's, of course, Ice Badger for the KD conversion rate side and Mr. Wobble for the off patterns. 2 players that did have great performances actually in day 1, hence why they are up for MVP. So as we do end up getting into this match very shortly, those are the players that you guys are going to be watching out for. I mean, there's only so much you can realistically do in a search and destroy setting, of course, because it's round based at the end of the day. You're not going to see any crazy kill streaks or anything like that coming out here. It is just going to be, what can you do in each round, and take it one round at a time, really. That being said, we have seen some stupid stat lines, even over the course of day 1. It was actually a Bag of Milk who was again up for MVP, who I think finished his first game on like 18 kills or something silly like that. I mean, we rarely see that, I will say that much, in Search and Destroy. To see it in 3 versus 3 Search and Destroy, that's something else.
Yeah, we see one of 2 things when it comes to 3v3. Either you've got your dead silence ready to go and you start to run quickly and take away the map as fast as possible, or typically a lot of players will sit around and wait for that dead silence and then the execute calls will come through. That's a level that's higher than what we're going to see today, though. A lot of this is just, let's just go hit a bomb site. We'll kind of go to the same area. We'll hope that we win gunfights. There's really not a lot that you can break down analytically, because when it comes down to it, it's just you're hoping you're better than your opponent face up.
Yeah, I mean, that is actually another good point you make, right? Because you made it yesterday when we were talking about how these guys are currently playing Search and Destroy. At the moment, you said that you felt like these guys were just sort of hitting whatever they fancied at any given points. There weren't really any
Seemed
deep,
like it, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't really any deep team play. If we can see that today, maybe a team will start to run away with this, right? I mean, that really could be the key. If you start to play as a team, just hit stuff on the offense together, things might change drastically for a team here. Of course, we say it like we haven't seen any of it. We have seen a little bit out of it. I think you kind of spoke about Wrecking Crew yesterday when they were playing Gunrunner Search and Destroy. They were actually starting to show just what it is like to be playing as a team, defending bomb sites together, reacting to the plays as and when they happen. So we are looking to see if day 2 of games really does improve the gameplay, I think, from a number of these rosters. It may well do so because, again, we do have a relatively deep talent pool here. There are definitely players that can come up and step up to the plate when it's necessary. And, of course, that time is now, because you're in single elimination, folks. You lose, you're done. There's no second chances
that's a big point. Yeah, the single elimination. I don't know if we really hit that fully on this intro, but yeah, one chance and you're out over the course of 3 days. So like you don't get that chance to really warm up, and maybe you're out there shooting bots. I hesitate to say that because I don't know if that's a rehearsal technique that some of these players are really using to get their hands warm. But yeah, it is all for fun at the end of the day. We'll kind of see what comes through, but when we talked about the teams like Wrecking Crew, the reason why we're sitting there and putting so much favor their way is that they're using meta loadouts, meta weapons, and
Hmm.
they're playing the game how you would expect to see it played if you follow along with any players that exist on their streams playing challenges, wagers, things like that, other search and destroy tournaments. They're playing closest to that representation. Obviously, we're not expecting any of these guys to be extremely well disciplined or extremely well versed when it comes to that level of gameplay, but that said, we're looking for those stylistic things, I think. And we saw that, I think, most specifically from teams like Wrecking Crew. So I'm excited to see if they have that, again today, playing up against probably a more talented opponent, as we get through the round of 16 into now the quarterfinals. You're anticipating that the competition is going to be risen up just at least a touch.
I'd hope so. I'd hope so, at least. I mean, I'm expecting some snazzy plays. We did see some snazzy plays yesterday, but we even got an execution very early on, right, which was super cool. I think that was actually a bag of milk that did that. So maybe we'll get some of those again today. It's always nice seeing what these guys have on their loadouts in terms of the emotes and the sprays and such, which we didn't see any spraying, which was sad. I'm expecting the Chicago Huntsman spray to come out from these players. I know they've been watching the CDL, preparing for today. So yeah, I'm expecting some snazzy stuff from these guys. That is for sure. But make sure, guys, as well, if you want to get involved in the conversation with the Agency Showdown, again, you can do so. Hashtag Agency Showdown on Twitter. You can even tag Anon and I. Our tweets, our Twitter accounts are in our webcams right now. So you can tag us in the tweets. You can tell us what you think about the plays that you see today in the Agency Showdown. Get involved with the conversation. Of course, put what you want in the YouTube chat as well, right? I mean, we don't see that, but you do what you want. Create some conversation, react to the plays, emote, do what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Get involved. There's that little coughing emoji that's in the YouTube emoji
Yeah,
list that looks like someone
there's a
stabbing.
lot.
There's a lot of really goofy ones out there. So hopefully we keep you guys active. We are just waiting for our first lobby to start up. We're not really getting much as far as an update outside of the fact that one player is unable to join and is restarting their game. So we'll see what kind of is going on with the lobby status, and hopefully we can get in for this first game here pretty soon. But again, just remember, we do have one best of 3 set up now for 5 o'clock. 2 different games will be going on at the same time at 6. So we'll kind of try to flop between both of those to give you guys updates on all the players and those matchups. And then our final matchup is scheduled for 7. So that's just to kind of make sure you know what times to be expecting games to be going on. We'll be essentially going live for the next 3 hours trying to finish this semifinals or quarterfinals up, rather.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, you're getting a non-stop gameplay from us here. You're not going to get a break from our voices at any point, which you guys can take whether that's a positive or a negative. I'm pretty sure it's a positive, right? I mean, I could listen to Shift for hours. I'm not sure about me, but I could listen to Shift for
I
hours.
hate the sound of my own voice. Are you the same way?
Everybody does, man. Everybody does.
I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate it.
There's a point where, because obviously, so as casters, right? I mean, this is just us blabbing on with random stuff, but as casters, every caster has to go at some point and do what we call VOD review, which is going back, looking at your own VODs and improving. It is the worst thing in the world because every single caster, every single show host, everybody hates the sound of their own voice. I've not met anybody that can sit there and say they like the sound of their own voice. I mean, to be fair, if they do, they're probably an egomaniac. But it is what it is. I certainly don't like mine, that's for sure. But as long as everyone else does, I don't care. I'm fine with it. But yeah, so apologies, guys. We are just sort of blabbering on at the moment. Again, we are just waiting on one player. I think they are getting a substitution in for this first match. I'm unsure who it will be and what the situation is, how long it will take for that sub to get into the game. But that seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I think one of the players is unable to connect to the service, which is sad. It's sad. Whichever team it is, they better hope that it is not one of our 2 players that we spoke about, Ice Badger and Mr. Wobble. They better hope it's not one of those.
Well, Mr. Wobble, just to kind of remember back, was using the AN94.
Oh, yeah.
Which he was one of the only players that we actually saw using that weapon type, and it's one that was like instantly GA'd in the competitive scene. GA standing for Gentleman's Agreement to not use the weapon, in case you're unfamiliar with the terminology, because it is so strong. So it's definitely interesting, I think, to kind of see him bringing that into the mix and finding a lot of value with it. And maybe that will continue to be the case going forward into today. The thing about it, again, is the fact that you can feel comfortable with one weapon today, but if you make it to tomorrow, you better be ready to go, because we've got loadouts upon loadouts that'll be cycled through when we get to that gunfight semis and grand finals. So it'll be interesting.
Have they added any more? Do you know? I mean, I don't know the last time I actually had the chance to play gunfight.
Added
sat down
what, more
it.
weapon types?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the way that the gunfight works is you play 2 rounds on whatever loadout you're given. So, and the cycle goes between, it's randomly, but it goes between pistols, shotguns, ARs, SMGs, and marksman rifles. There's no LMGs and there's no sniper rifles.
There used to be, right?
There used to be. They took it out a couple of months ago. Yeah, and I think a lot of it was just because, well, I actually don't know why, but
you could probably sit off spawn. That was the problem, I think.
You can sit off spawn, and the LMGs could wallbang just about everything. So I think that everyone kind of complained about that being a thing, and they took them out appropriately. But the other thing to keep in mind is not only do you cycle through random weapons in those classes, but you also cycle through random attachments on those weapons.
Yeah.
So if you feel comfortable with one weapon type only, you might be struggling to hold on to an AK-47 with no attachments. I know I personally would be. So we'll see how things kind of go as what we're going to get.
Yeah, like I said, when it comes to gunfight, I remember right at the back of the game. This time last year, actually, I'm pretty sure it was this time last year. The gunfight alpha came out. I smacked up everybody. And hey, we have gameplay. You guys don't have to listen to Alan and I talk utter rubbish for any longer, because we finally have our game underway. We're kicking things off on St. Petrograd Search and Destroy. And remember, every single game you see played today in Search and Destroy will be played on a CDL map. So there are no non-CDL maps in this rotation, I believe. It is all CDL maps. If you guys watch the Call of Duty League, you will be well familiar with how these maps work.
All right. Well, here we go. Full hit over towards A. Big Bake, Mr. Wobble. I would say the 2 players who really looked the best for the off-petons yesterday on the opposite side. Lucas Los was one of those Uzi guys that I think he actually was running the .41, as it looks like we're going to end the game. Not 100% sure why, but we will come back here and we'll figure out exactly what's going on with the lobby.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll get told in a second why they ended the game. But one thing I do know is Ice Badger. He's gone. It's Ice Badger who's gone. And I just said a moment ago, the impact that Ice Badger and Mr. Wobble had on their previous game, if one of those players goes, it might just adversely affect the way that this game goes. Ice Badger's gone. It is Dipping Sticks, who comes in his place. You guys might remember him from the other day. I will say he is just a free agent, so it's not like he's attached to any one team. He just comes in and fills in. I'm pretty sure he did the same thing in the first agency showdown. So yeah, he's coming in Ice Badger's place. As I remember, Dipping Sticks not that bad of a player, so it might be a fair trade.
Yeah, he played well yesterday. There were a couple of shaky moments, but I think overall he is definitely like top 10 players we saw yesterday. Yeah. So yeah, he could definitely hold his own. But Ice Badger was, like you mentioned, the guy that he was running for MVP as far as how he played yesterday. He's definitely one of the guys that you're looking for on that team to step up and help them get to that semifinal. But you're hoping that Dippin' Sticks coming in will be able to kind of fill that role and help this team out a bit. But yeah, Mr. Wobble, I think, is the player that you're really going to want to be looking at here as we are jumping back into the game.
What? I'm so confused. I don't know. I'm completely lost for words. The game, I don't know if they were all in. The game just died. Thank you, Modern Warfare. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, I will say about KD conversion rates, although they have lost Ice Badger, they do still have Lucas Loss, right, which you did aptly mention at the start of that round. He actually impressed us quite a lot with, I think it was his Uzi combination that he had
the .41 Uzi, is what he was running yesterday.
Which we discussed, right, is the G8 item that the pros really hated, and with good reason, because it is very powerful.
It's nasty.
It's nasty, man. It's very good, and Lucas Loss was showing us how to use that Uzi, so very well played. from him yesterday. I'm fully expecting that kind of play again today. And it will be quite useful on a map like St. Petrograd, right? Because there's not that many long lines of sight here on St. Petro. I think you've got the one down the mid.
Off of spawn.
Yeah, off the spawn. You normally see those off-spawn snipes. You've got the one over towards the riverside, which is an alternate sniper route. We actually saw somebody yesterday running the sniper along that route. But beyond that, there are a number of situations, especially in the power positions like apartments on this map. And of course, that's the area towards shipping where I think the A-bomb site situates. There are areas on this map where that Uzi is going to find itself in a great position to do a ton of damage.
Be the case. We're lost on where our current status is at the moment. But hopefully we'll be into this one here in a moment. I guess we're just having some issues if players aren't loading into the game properly. And okay, now we're going in. I'm imagining we're starting from a fresh 0-0.
Yes, yeah.
No word on as far as if that one round we saw for KD conversion rates is going to stick or not.
It is not.
Okay, so bomb planted here at the A site. It is a 3v2 situation. J-Bo and Dip and Sticks looking to find a way back in for the retake, and they're going to do it in a bit of a pinch fashion. J-Bo moving around the backside, and is this being watched? It just comes down to who's going to win the gunfights first, and well, J-Bo will find one. He's just using the AUG today, but holding a corner. The off patents will convert. Easy trade. First round successful.
Very early start here. SFH looking with the M4A1. Oh, we do love these janky sites, don't we, Shiv? We never get to see these. It's so nice.
The hollow site, man. I've used that, I think, in campaign like once, and I was like, never mind.
Oh, no. Wait.
What is happening here?
What? What's going on now? Oh, man. I feel sad. I just want to cast some Call of Duty, please. Please, guys. Oh, dear. Yeah, apologies for the issues, guys. We literally have zero idea what's going on. I don't even know if there was a play lagged out there. That probably was the case. I can't imagine that the game would have been ended for no reason whatsoever. So apologies for the issues. As far as I'm aware as well, that first round will probably stand. So the off-pants will end up having an advantage in this one. I believe we're going to a quick break, ladies and gents. Apologies for the issues in game number one. We do have a few technical problems to resolve, but we're going to be back in 5 minutes with game number one, the off-patents taking on KD conversion rates. Don't miss it. apologies for the issues. I believe that the off patterns starting this one 1-0 up. We'll wait for confirmation on that. But we're back in the game now. Hopefully everything is okay. And the off patterns taking on KD conversion rates in the agency showdown. And already the off patterns strike again.
Yeah, it sounds about what we expected. It's almost a deja vu of when we saw this round play out the first time around. Nearly the exact same setup, nearly the exact same read tack attempt. Same result. 1-0 at least the count, at least in this matchup. Again, not sure if we're going to be starting with the previous round as counting for these guys or not. I imagine if that was the case, they would have started on defense. But here we go. We're going to go into the second round of this restart attempt. Big Bang found 2 of the 3 kills. And now it's going to be on to them to play defense, and his KD conversion rates are making their move, looks like over towards the waterfront, maybe for a B hit.
The off patterns have sent 2 players over towards A. It's the right move for the most part, as Big Bang sits up in top apartments. KD conversion rates making their way over towards that B site. They have 1 player in the mid-map, that's Mr. Wobble, to deal with. The classic AN94 that we spoke about before we got into this one. Ready to go. Unfortunately, Mr. Wobble doesn't spot the first 2 players that goes across. But unfortunately, when he encounters the third, is going to fall. So now it's just on SFH to defend this B bomb site. Has 2 players coming his way. The fight about to go down, and there it is. SFH takes 1. The bomb being planted. Surely not SFH able to snap. Takes the head off both Ice Badger, and look, it's lost. And now a one-on-one engagement as Jabo does return fire. The Big Bang has the time to stop this plant. Jabo doesn't even go for it, and there it is. The off patterns take round number 2.
Yeah, really good stuff from SFH. He just plays a cheeky angle, just kind of laying down in someone's front garden. But hey, if it works, it works. And yeah, snapping out of the second is brilliant. And Big Bang, we already talked about how he with an MP5 looked good yesterday. And he's able to clutch up the 1v1. And we did get confirmation that as our lobby restarted, the score also reset. So we'll just take this as face value. A 2-0 start here for the side of the off-peds. And now as they go back to the attack, again, looked good over towards A the last time. Looks like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to go back that way once again.
And it is the better bomb site to go to. If you can beat your defensive side to this top apartment, so you basically have full control over the bomb site. And that's exactly what the off-pants have done here. Big Bang going to put those first 2 shots in, but it is Mr. Wobble who ends up taking kill number 1. And apartments control now to the off-patterns. SFH able to pick up the kill inside the shipping area. And now it falls onto the returning Ice Badger, who can't even pick up a single kill. The off-patterns now a 3-0 start for them. And just to confirm with you folks, that first round from earlier on doesn't count. So we are starting from 0-0. It's now 3-0.
And I'm just wondering, you know, so what we typically see defensively from the A site, just to kind of, again, frame up what you usually get to see at the CDL level, even in some of the more advanced 3v3s and 2v2s. You toss out at least a couple of grenades defensively into that main A entrance. That gives you either A, damage, or B, especially, the intel on if someone's hitting this site or not. We have not seen that yet from KD conversion rates, mostly just trusting that their setups are going to be good. And well, so far, they haven't been good, at least not quite enough. Now, Mr. Wobble, talk about it again, the play for the dead silence, hits the triggers, is on the flank. He sees one Riverwalk, good trigger discipline. He wants to put himself in a great spot to find not just one, but maybe a second. He realizes that that was not the player that he saw, reads the second beautifully. Good awareness, and that's why Mr. Wobble is one of the MVP candidates.
So good, just so good. That is beautiful. And you say about one of the MVP candidates, well, the other one now has to step up. Ice Badger picks up the first kill, looking for the second. Mr. Wobble throws a Semtex. Apparently isn't going to land whatsoever, but the pre-aim will do. Mr. Wobble picks up an ace in the round. Some extra shots in the body too, saying, hey, fellow MVP candidate, you ain't getting this title, buddy. You're gone.
Yeah, good stuff for Mr. Wobble. 3 kills in the round, 6-1. Really good stuff. The AN94, man, super good, super clean.
Good.
It's like a freight train, I'm telling you. But a 4-0 start for the off-pens. I don't remember if we actually saw them play this map yesterday, but looking very comfortable here as far as where they're setting themselves up, and they're looking really tight. So now we try to turn it over to the other side. What are going to be the adjustments here for KD conversion rates? This has been a little bit of a slower start than what they had in our first attempt at the lobby, but they're still hanging on to a couple of positions. And how about this? It's going to be a hit over the middle of the map. Mr. Wobble is ready for it. He actually sees the second player. A little bit of pre-fire comes out. Not able to connect it, so we'll reset everything. It's still a 3v2 for the off-pens.
First blood goes Mr. Wobble's way, looking for some more. Player right in front, there is again Mr. Wobble. Seriously? 8-1 start? He's just shredding the entirety of the KD conversion rate, boys. And once again, it's Ice Badger left up in a 1 versus 2, takes some shots off onto Big Bang. It was actually a 1 versus 3 too, so this would be a clutch. Unfortunately, Mr. Wobble again ruins his day. A 5-0 start for the off patterns. This is brilliant from them.
This is a different look, I think, overall from yesterday, too. Mr. Wobble was, I would say, by and far the leader of this squad. Today, everyone's participating. You're seeing kills from every single member, and like we talked about when it came to teams like the Wrecking Crew, those were the positives that we spun as far as how they could potentially elongate this tournament run for them. So, really good stuff overall. And it's just one of those things that, for as dominant as Mr. Wobble has been, KD conversion rates is also playing the map all right. It's not like anything is going terribly negative for them. It's just the fact that Mr. Wobble's coming out hot today.
Mr. Wobbles is definitely coming out very hot. A 9-1 start. This is what you expect to see for the off patterns, and things just haven't gone well for KD conversion rates. They need to change up their strategy, and they have done here. Not so much aggressive towards A this time around. They've sent a feeler player out over towards B. Unfortunately, though, as one of those players that was going over towards A falls, it's Jabo. The player over towards B falls as well. Ice Badgers loses the one-on-one with SFH. It all falls on the shoulders of Look It's Lost, who didn't have that bad of a performance yesterday with the fabled Uzi. Now has to pull off a 1 versus 3 to keep KD conversion rates alive. Unfortunately for Look It's Lost, Mr. Wobble has just spotted him out. And what a read. He's going to know where he comes on the corner. Almost misses the shots required, but it doesn't matter anyway. 6-0, a clean start to the day here for the Agency Showdown and off patterns.
That's a really good read from Mr. Wobble, knowing that he saw him kind of run back through what is the normal position for the A domination flag, wrapping back over to water, the only position he could be at. And that's what we call, like, a little bit of COD timing helping him out there. If he doesn't see that information, Mr. Wobble could be caught kind of in no man's land off by his lonesome, but he does get that little bit of information gathered. He's able to read it nicely and makes the correct play. I would say a frustrating start. Yeah, I mean, look at Flows. He played great yesterday, but never really got into a position in this map where he could really find an opportunity to let that SMG run. So I'd be interested to see what the second map is going to be. Maybe something smaller, like half the yard, to try to get him involved a little bit more often, because like you mentioned, he had a good day yesterday, but Mr. Wobble, he took over.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about the Uzi, right? The potential for Look It's Lost to come out with the Uzi and really perform. He just didn't. And you know what? I said there were positions in which he could really be a factor for this roster. He didn't get in those positions. It was just as simple as that. Every time he died, he was caught out of position. I mean, I say that, but Mr. Wobble just had an incredible game. And in every single gunfight, it doesn't matter what range he's taking it, that A94 is running right through you. And yeah, definitely showing us why that weapon is very good, a recent addition to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And you should be using it, folks, it would seem. It is a super duper good weapon. And of course, Mr. Wobble, meaning a 6-0 start for the off-bands. That is a statement. There's no two ways around it.
You're right. It is a extremely powerful weapon, but it's only seen as extremely powerful when you're hitting your shots. It has a little bit of extra kick. It has a little bit of a slower rate of fire. So if you're missing shots, you very well could find yourself still getting melted by a faster rate of fire weapon like an M13, M4, MP5, your typical more standard weapons that you see across not just the multiplayer, but also especially, I think, in Warzone, which I think for most people is probably where they're spending a majority of their time. But yeah, good stuff overall. I would say we saw SFH have himself a really nice double kill to kind of clutch up the B bomb site hold. Brilliant stuff from him. And Big Bank also still looking good with the MP5. So everything going up nicely. And, well, we talked about the fact of maybe you want to try to see a smaller map to see if Look It's Lost could get more involved. This was a map that they played very well on yesterday, and we'll be going right back to Hackney Yard for map number 2, trying to get him more involved.
Yeah, those sites are definitely going to give you a smaller close quarter engagement to work with. Maybe that will play in the hand of Look It's Lost. But for now, they're going to be on the defense to kick things off. The off-patterns have already chosen their side of attack, and straight away, Ice Badger kicks things off strong here. He takes out the most valuable player on this KD conversion rate. The off-patterns line up. And already there were 2 versus 2. Big Bang does fire back, immediately also taking out the most powerful player on KD conversion rates.
Yeah, we've got essentially the supporting cast coming through now of who can be the better of the two. Big Bank able to hit down Japo on the rotation back. Look at Slows. He's going to be right over the top of SFH. Neither player privy to that information as he's trying to clear up the top side of the office. You definitely don't want anyone lingering up here while you try to go for a defusal. And now Dead Silence is getting close to being charged, but again, time, a big issue. 17 seconds, needs to make a play, and now he starts to make the approach over to the site. The question is, do you see the player in the corner? You do. Gets the shots, but now time is again becoming more of an issue, and the problem is the last player left alive was waiting for the time to be in their favor for the peak, and that results in Big Bang finding his second kill and turning his team up 1-0.
And hey, it's an MP5. Would you look at that? The weapon we wanted to see out of Big Bang. And yeah, if you look at Slice in that situation, you're just not in a good position there whatsoever. It's as simple as that. You've got to know what that second player is, and you've got to snap on them pretty fast. But doesn't happen. Big Bang gets in a great position and ends up taking round number 1 for the off-patterns, now on a 7-round spree after, of course, their 6-0 on the prime map we just saw between these two teams. Now, KD conversion rates. Can they fire back? Well, the answer straight away, no. Ice Badger falls inside the offices. Big Bang draws first blood for the off-patterns.
Jabo's in the middle of the map, and he will see a player up top, but unfortunately that information was mutual, and the off-pad is able to find the kill before things got a little bit too dicey. So another good start here. It's just one of those things, you know, like yesterday we saw, I think, teams that were just clearly better than the opposites, and even though the scoreline is convincing, you get a split-second timing earlier for the side of KD conversion rates, and some of these rounds very well could be theirs. So it's been relatively close, considering that it has been 8 straight rounds for the side of the off-pens, but I think I'm most impressed to see Big Bang really showing up in a big way here. SFH has been kind of dedicated as the bomb carrier. He's done well to get the bomb planted in their first attack, looking to do the same here on the A site, and it will go down. Jabo will catch some information, but it'll cost him a little bit of his life. Tries to bounce pass off a frag grenade, won't quite connect, and now it's just down to a 2v3 retake scenario.
You just say, look, its loss has fallen, but Ice Badger does find a trade, and this could be a great pincer movement from KD conversion rates if they coordinate it correctly. One play just to the right. That's a great corner check. Beautiful play from Ice Badger. Takes out SFH, and now it's down to Big Bang, who has had a big performance. He is going to fall, and KD conversion rates find their first round in this matchup versus the off-patterns. Very well-played retake, I think. Both Jabo and Ice Badger playing their parts.
Yeah, Merc foregrip on top of this M4 means the hipfire is going to be pretty steady for the Ice Badger, and you saw exactly that coming to be, but Jabo as well. This is what I mean when I say that, you know, a couple of split-second timings go your way, you're going to win rounds. Jabo comes around the corner, he catches his opponent not quite looking at the doors, and he gets a free kill because of it. So, yeah, for as one-sided as the score may have lended us to believe this matchup has been, a couple of timings go your way, and a handful of these rounds turn up in the opposite direction, and that is exemplified there in our third round here in Hackney.
KD conversion rates have found their first round. Will we now see them double their improvements here in round number 4 as they look to get another one? You see Ice Badger run right through the map, not finding a single player. For Mr. Wobble, who also did the same thing, he has a lot of a better start. Lucas Los and Jabo both fall. And now I guess the secret weapon for a KD conversion rates is that Ice Badger is inside behind enemy lines. The off-patterns are in a great position. They know where this bomb is down. They know where it was going to as well, so they can just set up around this bomb, and that makes this situation all the harder for Ice Badger to pull off, because you've got to make your way from offices. You've got to run across the mid-map, which will be right in the open as soon as a player spots you out. I mean, I was going to say they know who you are, but now they definitely know where you are as Ice Badger takes some shots.
He's going to reposition very wisely. The bomb hasn't been picked up yet. We've got plenty of time in the round, 60 seconds. Up top from AC, Ice Badger not able to respond to it. Off-Padden's able to take a win of the round. Would have been a really desperate 1v3 situation. I mean, that's a tough situation to be in for anybody. Even Ice Badger, as the AN-94 again just kind of showing its power. Wobble, you can see the gun wants to kick on him, but he's doing a pretty nice job of holding off some of the recoil. So 3-1 we go. Off-Padden's still looking pretty steady as she goes here. Just kind of wondering if it's going to be the first blood battle that really determines the outcome of these rounds. So far, it's been almost 100% the case.
Has indeed. KD conversion rates hit. They need to start getting something going right now. Of course, losing that first game 6-0 can't be good for anybody. Look, as though has actually spotted the bomb planner out. I don't think he was confident enough to take the shot. I think that was the difference maker, but great nade from Look It's Low. So he's able to find the kill. Looking to snap on another one. Mr. Wobble now down, and it's now down to Big Bang, who again has had an incredible performance thus far in this search and destroy. We're only 4 rounds in. Is able to take one of the players down, so a one-on-one engagement now. Look It's Low versus Big Bang. So banking on the player coming through, and oh, the timing, it doesn't matter. The drop shot almost comes in, but Big Bang gets the kill anyway, and the off patterns have another round.
Tight, man. Tight moment right there. Look at Slow's great nade, great follow-up. Nearly gets the gunfight versus Big Bank as well for all 3 kills in the round, but Big Bank has been just that. He's been banking up some big moments for his squad, as he's been by far dominating this lobby in this second map. It was a very good performance from Mr. Wobble on the Petro, but here on Hackney, it's been all Big Bank. He's 9-1. Maybe sitting there saying, hey guys, you didn't have me as part of the MVP conversation. I'm going to tell you why that's not correct. You should have definitely had me.
God. A set nade. You spoke about these, right, Shift? You spoke about the fact that set nades are so important on Hackney Yard Search and Destroy, right? I mean, it's the reason the map was taken out of competitive rotation, because these set nades can essentially decide immediately, right off the rip, who is going to live and who is going to die before the round even really gets started. And we see that here as Big Bang picks up kill number 1, picks up kill number 2 too, as Look It's Los is going to fall. And while Mr. Wobble may be out of the round, Ice Badger still finds himself in a 1 versus 2. Dead Silence has been activated as he makes his way towards the bomb that is down. The problem for Ice Badger is he has to deal with Big Bang, who's right above him. This gunfight coming to the 4. Ice Badger wins it, and now SFH needs to find his first kill to win this one-on-one.
And Ice Badger has got the Dead Silence in play, so he's going to be moving pretty quickly to the bottom side of office. This is a great time for him to plant the bomb. I think he's going to make that decision. Sure seems that way. But who's this? It's SFH. He's going to jump the wall here. He might just find the timing on the post plant. He sure does. It's, again, man, it's one of those things that we're looking at a 5-1, but for KD conversion rates, you're doing just about everything you need to be doing to get involved. It's just a split-second timing. If that bomb gets planted and you can back away, SFH is the one who has to make a desperate play, but the timing this time favors him. And like you mentioned, his first kill on the board in a very pivotal time, 5-1 the score.
Man, oh man, that is so rough. I mean, he goes for the plant, and SFH just peeks out, says, peekaboo, I'm here. You're not getting that bomb down, and it's a beautiful play there from SFH as he finds his first kill of the game. And look at this aggression from Big Bang, comes sliding through the mid-map right into L. Suspects a player is going to be right there, and now Look It's Los. He's in from behind. This bomb is down. The last remaining player for the KD conversion rate side takes some shots off. I thought for a second the Ninja Defuse was on the cards, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Look It's Los is being stunned to hell. They know exactly where this last remaining player is, and of course the worst part about this for Look It's Los is you've got to go. You've got to go right now. There's only 7.5 seconds left here for the defuse. Look It's Los goes for the first kill, looking for 2 more. You just have to go. Throws a stun that's probably not going to help him all that much, and as the timer ticks down, none of these kills matter anymore. There's not enough time for the defuse. The off patterns, they do it in 7. They are going through to the semifinals.
Yeah, 12-1 overall round count in these 2 maps. Very convincing. They looked good yesterday, but they didn't look this good. I mean, they're playing at a different level right now, and everyone's participating. SFH is finding himself not, I think he had an even stat line on the Petro, and here in this one, just a bit below that, but still, he's getting involved. He's getting participation. Yesterday, we talked about a lot about how it was literally the Mr. Wobble show. We're starting to see that Big Bang can absolutely hold the zone, and SFH is still participating as well. So they make it into that semifinal. The format changes, though, tomorrow, where it goes to a gunfight. So if you're feeling very comfortable with only one weapon type, you're about to be thrown into the pit tomorrow, because you can be playing with things you've never touched before if you don't have a lot of rehearsal in gunfight.
Yeah, absolutely. Things could look very, very different here tomorrow when you go into a gunfight. That AA94, you're not using it anymore, Mr. Wobble. It's gone. I mean, it might well be in gunfight.
I don't think it's in the AR list right now. I remember seeing M13s, M4s, AKs, Odins, and FALs. I didn't see anything else, like as far as like new weapons that were going. And I know it is a little bit random, but they do kind of cycle between a couple of different weapons. Maybe the Ram 7 was involved in there as well, but yeah, I didn't see an AN. I didn't see the CR. Some of the newer weapons have not been added into that rotation for gunfights. So yeah, we'll have to see what exactly Mr. Wobble can bring with a different loadout type going into tomorrow.
Yeah, mate, that's the bottom line here. Get practicing tonight. When you're done with these games, get practicing. When you're done with work today, just get practicing. Go on Modern Warfare and say, look, I need to get ready for gunfight tomorrow. I need to know what's ahead of me because the A94 is no longer available to you. But Mr. Wobble does survive. Big Bank puts him on the back for that second game. Of course, it is important to know as well that Mr. Wobble had an incredible performance in game number 1. But yeah, great performance all around there. I feel like even SFH was getting involved. We said that's what we kind of need. Team performances today, team pushes. That is what we saw from this lineup. And I'm excited to see what the off patterns can bring to us here tomorrow for our semifinals and finals.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's going to be fun to see. And again, like we mentioned, as we get close to the 6 o'clock hour, we will be jumping into 2 different matchups that are going to be going on at the same time. So we got to make sure that we're keeping up with that. The matchup that we're going to be seeing is Mindshare versus Wrecking Crew. Wrecking Crew looked nasty yesterday. I mean, all 3 of them looked insane. Both of the players with Cow in their name were absolutely, I think, some of our best performers on the day. So we'll see if they're going to be able to continue on with that success or if Mindshare can essentially put a monkey wrench in the system. They didn't look terribly bad yesterday either. So, I mean, again, as we get past the round of 16 into this quarterfinals, everybody is going to be providing a little bit more stiffer competition the longer in that you go, as you typically would anticipate in a tournament format.
Yeah, well, you talk about Wrecking Crew, right? I mean, that's what Cowtron, Cows Fly Together, and Pack 22. But you also talk about the opposite side, and we do actually have Choco Rambo for Mindshare. He is the standout player for me. I think, as I remember it yesterday, I think Choco Rambo was just carrying the squad. In both games
he really was, yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't happen this time around. I think your other 2 players in the roster need to step things up. And as you say, especially against a team like Wrecking Crew, because if not, we could very quickly see the same kind of situation we saw in our first match of the evening, where it's a 6-0, 6-1, something along those lines, quickly done and dusted before we even start thinking about the matchup, really. But that is our next match. It's the Wrecking Crew versus Mindshare. So it's going to be super duper interesting to see how this goes down. I've actually just got confirmation as well. Apparently Choco Rambo was a free agent who came in yesterday for this lineup. I don't know
the
if that
ringer.
Means yeah, it's a ringer. One of those, man. I won't make a joke about the EU Toronto Ultra qualifier. That being said, yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see. I don't know if that means that he's not in this now, if he was just a fill-in yesterday. If that's the case,
tough.
That's dire straits for this roster. I mean, maybe their mainline player is much better than Choco Rambo. Maybe they've brought in Scump for this one. I highly doubt it, but it would be interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, because the way that you mentioned it, I mean, Choco Rambo, he was the linchpin for success for the team. So yeah, we'll kind of see if that is indeed the case. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. We'll see kind of things how go on. Apparently, we are getting word that since we did get that very quick 2-0 in the first matchup, we're going to try to give full coverage of everything coming up. So we'll see exactly when we can get into that Mindshare versus Wrecking Crew game. We're just kind of filling time, vamping, waiting for the lobby to get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have confirmation as well. So it is Choco Rambo who is out for today. He's not in today. They've got a new player in. We've got, I think it's Control Swift. While we're on the topic, right? So you know the key Control, right, on your keyboard? For the entirety of my life, up until relatively recently, I'm ashamed to say that I call it Central. And I hate myself
and
for
not
that.
Control?
Yeah. I don't know why.
No way.
I don't know why.
I don't know if that's something you should be talking about publicly.
Look,
that's a little embarrassing.
I'm perfectly happy to embarrass myself at the entertainment. I'm perfectly fine with that. This is one of those things that I feel like I should sort of absolve myself of. I'd be like, look, guys, I did this. It's fine. Hi, my name's Brody, and
I've never heard that before. I've literally never heard anyone say that. Like, I could totally understand like why. Like obviously like. Same letters and in the both words, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone ever say that before. That's actually wild.
The amount of times I've spoken to my girlfriend and told her to press the Central key, and she's like,
"Is this
what?
recently?"
And this is like within the past. Well, it has to be within the past 3 years.
No way.
Oh man, anyone in the YouTube chat, you want to roast me? This is all the firepower you need. I mean, I know Shift has a lot of firepower anyway. There are a number
I
of
don't have
films
that much
I haven't seen.
firepower, to be honest. Not like I've got a lot of firepower on like proper Envisions because we talk all the time. I don't have nearly as much on you, but you better believe I'm going to keep this one banked up just in case.
Yeah, that is fair enough. Yeah, I don't know if I maybe should have come up with that one on stream, but hey, we're here to entertain, right? If it's the expense of myself, I'm perfectly fine with that. But yeah, that's for sure. We do have control Swifting for this matchup, so it is going to be a question for me. Realistically, is he going to be at the same level as Choco Rambo was from yesterday? Because as we said, Choco Rambo was, I think, all the gears in the machine for this team. When you take those gears away, I don't know how well all this machine is going to run. But who knows, man? I mean, JW, nice to know you. They could absolutely step up here in this one. And as we said, maybe Control Swift is an absolute god of a player. Maybe he's a ringer for a pro currently getting ready. This is their practice for CDL playoffs next weekend.
Yeah, very much. We'll see. I mean, again, with the closet changes, the secret changes that are happening, it might turn everything on its head going into next weekend, to be honest with you. It'd be interesting.
Absolutely. I don't know if while we're here, we can take a look at our bracket in just a moment real quick to see, again, just how that first match does affect the current standings for the semi-finals, because I believe, of course, as it currently stands, I think the Offhands now having won their match versus the KD conversion rates, they will be playing against the winner of this match, Mindshare versus Wrecking Crew. I think that is how this works. So we shall see. But it'll be super interesting to see maybe a team like Wrecking Crew take on a team like the Offhands. I mean, that's the beauty of getting to the semi-finals, right? Everybody is at least somewhat skilled. So again, you get to these more in-depth matchups where everybody kind of knows what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Still waiting on one player. Not much else really to say. Just kind of waiting. So you get to look at us while we're waiting. I guess that's what we're doing.
I was going to say to you, Shift, actually, you've grown your beard out quite a bit.
It's the quarantine beard has absolutely taken over, and I think it's going to be gone this week. I think I'm gonna go to the barber and I need to get a haircut, and I think we're gonna get rid of it.
Oh, man.
It's gotten a lot of love, but it's getting to the point where it's getting annoying personally. So I think it's about time to get back to the normal scruff roots that I usually rock.
I was gonna say, man. I mean, like, I feel like when I grow a beard of any kind, it gets really annoying at the point where it shows that I have a beard. So I can't imagine how that is, man. You kind of look a little bit like Tim Allen from the Santa Claus films.
Dude, it's so funny you say that. I literally had somebody else tell me like I look like a younger the Santa Claus Tim Allen, like not even a week ago, and I was like, I don't see that at all. But apparently now that it's happened twice, I guess I have to roll with it a little bit.
Oh man, it's like the meme from Phineas and Ferb. It's happened twice. If I had a penny for every time that happens, I'd have 2 pennies. It's happened twice, but it's still weird. It's still weird, and you do look like Tim Allen a little bit, so you definitely need to get rid of it, man. I mean, to be fair, you look good. You look good with a beard. Keep up the confidence, man.
Thanks,
I love
man.
it.
I appreciate that. I'm super self-conscious about it. I'm not gonna lie, but
you shouldn't be, man. It looks great. You're looking like you could take on Bear Grylls real easy, no problem. But still, Mindshare versus Wrecking Crew. Game number 2 is underway, and again, guys, just to really show you how this went down, we also have another change as well. Nice to know you who is on this roster is not in anymore. SGO Boys _con is also in for the team, and right off the start, this is the kind of awareness that we spoke about. A preset nade from Cows Fly Together lands right at the feet of JW, already out of the round. Mindshare in a 2 versus 3.
Well, this A hit is by no means safe, as you've got one player who's very, very safely defensively pinned up in the back, and you've also got a couple of members that could hit this from the backside, which is actually Pack, who's making his way through Boiler, and for Control Swift to get the player who's coming in, you need to find a way to respond to this or hit through this A site quickly. This is a really tough spot to be in, and you could be waiting for Dead Silence to get there, but they're quite literally stuck in a corner at the moment.
And again, this is the awareness you expect from Wrecking Crew. What we've seen from most teams thus far is they are consistently repositioning themselves. For a team like Wrecking Crew, they have literally every single angle covered. I say that Caltron is now apparently moving over towards the mid-map. There is technically an angle they could go for, but here we go. SGO Boys _con makes their way to the bomb site. Now we just have Control Swift left up. She's going to fall. And Wrecking Crew take round number 1.
Good stuff. It's just the setup. You get that first blood. You get the read that, hey, it's just coming over to A. You send over Pack 22 into the middle of the map. He's able to stop any rotation from backing away from the A side. And then, yeah, you just hold 2 different angles in front of the site, and you get some good angles to eventually bleed out your opponents. No problem. So good setup defensively to start. And I'm just interested mostly in what Control Swift is going to bring to the mix here. We talked about how one of the big raid bosses in Choco is not going to be here. Can he help these guys get into a position like they were yesterday when they found their win? We've got JW with the Grau. He's in a good spot. I don't know if he fully saw the player through the grass in front of him, but the gunshots will definitely make him aware that there is someone nearby. Now he should get the read that he is just hanging on the backside. Stun goes out. Will not fully connect, unfortunately, and Caltron will punish. 3v1 situation.
Well, if you're Control Swift, you couldn't be in a worse situation. Tries to run out, unfortunately doesn't get the gun up in time for the kill, and Wrecking Crew take yet another easy round. And again, this is kind of the problem, is that when you have pushes like this that are so well put together, Wrecking Crew can essentially just win that first fight relatively easily, and as soon as they have that, they have the numbers to just push their advantage. Really well played from Wrecking Crew. Kind of unfortunate in a way from Mindshare, but who knows? Maybe they can start to get things going very soon.
There's a lot of discussion apparently about where we're going to go, who's going to take the bomb. And now Mindshare, as they kind of group together, look like they eventually make the decision to go over towards the B site. They've got a lot of utility to play. And
sad.
Looks like there is some sort of a connection issue, whether that's on the game side or on our side, a little bit undeterminate, but we'll see how things go. At least we know this much. It is a 2-0 lead currently for the Cowboys.
Yes, it is indeed. Wrecking Crew look really good. I'm not going to act like I'm surprised at all. I mean, right from the off, you are starting to see what you discussed yesterday as a team that knows what they are doing. They are covering every single angle correctly together as a team. It works out very, very well. And of course, although you can't cover every angle when you're in a 3 versus 3 game, they seem to be getting the majority of map coverage on the defense at the moment. You saw right from the off the Setonade coming in. It completely stunted their opposition. And deserve 2-0 start from these guys. I expect it to continue this way, to be honest, from what we've seen from their opposition thus far. Mindshare haven't looked all that great, but maybe they can start to get things together here as we do go into round number 3 when the game does restart.
You're seeing a little bit of indecision, I think, everyone grouping up, saying who's taking the bomb, which direction are we going to go? And those things, they happen, especially when you're coming in with a different player today. You kind of have to figure those things out again. So, yeah, there's going to be a couple of things that we're going to be looking at to see how they try to bounce around and come back. But like we mentioned, this is a very tall task, I think, for anybody out there, because this Wrecking Crew squad has showcased that individually they're very good. They're playing with a very high level of awareness. You talked about that first round defensively. They read the play almost before it happens based off the information they gathered from utility. So they're doing the correct steps that we're kind of looking for as far as going from A to B to C and then eventually winning out the round. They're doing a very good job, I think, as far as being able to be understanding of how they're playing the map, how they're playing together, and how they need to respond to what's coming at them. So definitely a little bit of a level above what we've seen so far from the opponents, from our first 2 rounds. But like we've said, it's going to be a couple of figuring out moments, I think, early on to this setup, as, again, you're playing with a different set of 3 than you had yesterday. So there's going to be a little bit of unfamiliarity potentially.
And who knows, maybe things could change for the Wrecking Crew as well. I mean, maybe they could just slip up and lose their thumbs on the way to reaching for their controllers again. And hey, you're automatically on advantage if you're Mindshare. So things could absolutely change here. We are getting a restart any moment now between these 2 teams. We will be going from a 2-0 start for this Wrecking Crew side. So they will only need to win 4 rounds as we get into this restart to take map number 1. Remember, folks, this is a best of 3. Every single matchup, whether we're playing Search and Destroy today and, of course, yesterday, or Gunfight tomorrow, every single matchup will be a best of 3 throughout the entirety of the tournament.
Yeah.
So it should be super interesting to see how those Gunfight matches are going to go down tomorrow. But in terms of this matchup, if Wrecking Crew win this first map, they only need to win 1 more, and they automatically sail through to the semifinals.
Yeah, the gunfight, man, it's going to be so interesting to see how these guys handle it, because the mode is typically played 2v2, and the maps are all built for that. When you throw that 3rd member in, it becomes chaos. And it's so much fun playing more like elongated numbers. I remember back when, I don't know if you were in this game or not, but near the end of our college COD season, we ran like 8v8 gunfight. Oh my God, it was so much fun. We had a blast. It was so much fun. And 3v3s, yeah, they get a little crazy, man. It's all about you get that extra bit of utility, you get the extra lethal grenade or C4 that comes into play. It's all about trying to find a way to team shot, find trades. It's really, really chaotic. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, 8v8 gunfight? Like, what the heck, man? How do you even fit 16 players on a map like Pine?
It was wild, man. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, that sounds stupid, to be honest with you. Was the LMGs and the sniper rifles in at that point as well?
I think they were, if I'm remembering right. I'm pretty sure they were, yeah.
Oh man, I can just imagine people just ADSing with the LMG straight down sight. Right off the start. Oh god, absolute chaos. It is going to be chaos tomorrow as well, of course. I'm sure Shift and I are going to have a ton of fun casting Gunfight. I casted it at the start of the year a little bit, and it was super fun. It's something fresh, I think, as well, from the sort of what Shift and I normally cast, which is 5 versus 5 respawn plus a search and destroy in the CDL settings. So it for sure is a nice breath of fresh air, and that's what we're going to have tomorrow for the players as well. They're going to be surprised, I think it's fair to say, when it comes to that new setting. It's going to be real fun. But back to this match. We have our game ready to go, I believe, any second now. Hopefully, it's going to be an interesting affair. I want a closer one than we saw in our first match of the evening. I don't want these guys to just roll through each other.
Yeah. I'm hoping that we're going to see some prevalence kind of come through from the opposing side, but yeah, the hopes and I think the expectations are lying mostly with what the Wrecking Crew have been able to showcase us so far. I'm also not sure if we're going to be getting a reset here with just a 2-0 start or if it's going to be a fresh restart. 2-0. Yeah, I imagine it'll probably be a 2-0 startup. So we'll see how things go. Gunrunner is also one of those maps that, again, is just to kind of give you the high level breakdown. The middle of the map is everything in this game. Especially on this map. If you can take away that bathroom, green room, or boiler control, depending on which side you're spawning on, you can find a very easy time rotating around and making sure that a post-plant setup is either good if you're on the attack, or adversely on the other side, not so good because you're taking away so many angles from your opponents. So that's another kind of area that I'm looking at, and so far Wrecking Crew have done a better job of controlling that middle of the map thus far. So we'll see if that tends to be the case moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You sort of talk about Gunrunner. Actually, as a map, this is a very one-sided map in terms of search and destroy. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, it always goes to B. I'm pretty sure it's the B site. Bomb sites in this game just confuse me all the time. But I'm pretty sure it's B, where everybody is just consistently going to it on their offense. And actually, this map is offensively sided. You get that bomb down, there are so many lines of sight where you can defend it from. It's very, very hard to get a defuse on this map defensively. So if you get that bomb down, I mean, at least it was a long time ago.
Yeah, the game has changed a lot. Initially, yes, and typically you still will see the bomb site at B being the more regularly hit one, but defensively teams have adjusted, especially in 5v5. 3v3s, 2v2s, throw that strategy out the window because it doesn't really make much of a difference. But there have been new set nades, new set smokes, flashes that are being used at the high level in 5v5 where the defense is able to stall that bomb plant at B for longer, take away more map control, and then be able to hit things either on the flank or, like we mentioned, in the middle of the map. So as we start things back up, Wrecking Crew will be on the defense. They're currently up 2-0, and Mindshare, like we mentioned the last time around, needed to make a decision on which way they wanted to go. It looks like they have made their decision as they're making their way over towards that B site that you're mentioning.
And SGA Boys doesn't seem to be moving. I'm praying to God that he does move any second now, because another restart, I don't know if my heart can take it. And there he is. He moves through the mine, and Mindshare looking for this first blood that was aited right up for them. JW047 does take down Pack 22, so now Cows fly together in Encounteron at a disadvantage for the first time in this game. This bomb will be going down over towards B. How would a Wrecking Crew respond?
Yeah, but the Cows, I think, were the 2 of the 3 that were definitely showcasing that they can handle their own. So we'll see if that can come true again. As you saw for a moment, SGO Boys did play through bottom bathroom, trying to clear out the water ramp area. A couple of nades come through. He finds some tags. I think he also reads the information that this player did dig into the bath. JW kind of holding over the top, trying to make the challenge come through. Wins the gunfight. just down to Cows Fly Together. Technically a 1v3, takes down 2. One more. JW gets the read on him, but the slide through play not going to be there. JW puts him down before things got too interesting. Mindshare take their first round, and again, just as a reminder, it is 2 rounds for Wrecking Crew, so this is a 1-2 score technically.
And I mean, Cows Fly Together had a lot on his plate there, to be honest with you. I don't know if realistically that 1 versus 3 was a realistic possibility for him, but does try for it. JW047 just able to pick up the kill in the end, and a necessary one-on-one. We asked the question if Mindshare would start to pick things up here, and well, JW047 certainly has a 3-0 start. Brilliant stuff from him, and yet again, we have players hanging back in their spawn. Control Swift choosing to opt with this A bomb site defense. There is one player making their way over there, and Wrecking Crew haven't committed to either A or B just yet, but they need to be careful as JW coming on this flank will soon spot out Pack right in front of him. There it is, picks up the first kill, and immediately once again it's Wrecking Crew at its advantage, and JW has another player right in front of him.
JW's been good so far. Can he convert to the kill in front? Shots are just barely good enough. I thought Cowtron maybe could have slid around the corner. Not the case. Cows Fly Together, another 1v3, and this is a familiar situation that he's not going to be very happy to see become a familiar situation. SGO boys, FAMAS, 3-round burst weapon, can hit like a freight train, but does not read the information on where Cows is coming from. JW will just barely get the last couple of shots. He clutches up again for his team. Now 2-2 we go. Mindshare bouncing right back into this game.
Mindshare. 2 for 2 in rounds. They finally found their footing here. And those first 2 rounds, completely different. And I will say the one exact reason that is JW047. I believe he's got every single kill available to the Mindshare boys in this game. 6-0 start for that player. Control Swift and SGO haven't got a kill just yet. But as a reminder for you folks, because Wrecking Crew did have 2 rounds before the restart, this game is 2-2 right now, not 2-0.
JW, a little bit of an exorcist moment right there as his body just floats midair. I've seen some pretty strange moments where the ragdoll gets wild, but nothing quite like that. That was terrifying. It's going to haunt my dreams later tonight. But a 2v3 situation. Bomb needs to be picked up, and here comes the play for it. Shots not quite able to lock in. Pack wins the gunfight, and SGO boys is now forced to rotate back as he's been tagged up. Lots of time to play with, but does not read the player directly in front of him. Does stay alive. Tosses some smoke to try to move his way across, but a nade will be the end of his life. 3-2 technically the score, now favoring the Wrecking Crew.
And that's a good response here from the Wrecking Crew. I think they needed that, to be honest with you. Maybe some momentum went the way of Cows, or the opposite side in Mindshare. They're now 3-2 in favor of the Wrecking Crew. Let's see if they can continue to go wreck it like Ralph. As they now go on the offense once again. Now, Mindshare so far have favored defending this B site in every single defensive round. Of course, there is a reason for that, as we discussed. This is the preferred offensive site. And JW found some success on the prior defensive round by moving up towards those trees, getting the kill on the flank. It was Pack previously he was able to take first. And for a second there, Caltron was in a relatively bad position. But you feel Wrecking Crew now. They're getting a feel for this A site. SGO loses this. They will get this bomb down super fast.
Good information here. Taking a little bit of time to center up the shots, but Cows Fly Together gets destroyed just past the A site. This is still possible for an offensive hit, though. The only player here defensively is SGO boys. And he will get the information just in the nick of time before things became a bit too dire. As Caltron was throwing shots his direction, now the defensive rotation's coming over. JW trying to cut mid-map. Still tons of time left. Again, 2 minutes on the clock instead of the usual minute 30 is allowing these rounds to exist for an extremely long time. Caltron will eventually take down the player in the back. That was SGO, so now a 2v2. Timing.
Oh, that is timing. And Wrecking Crew now, as soon as they realize that Control Swift is the last player, all the shots going in. Control Swift, she almost picks up the kill. Doesn't happen, but there's still more opportunities to pick up here. Control Swift just going for this fight, and I love this aggression. looking for her first kill. Gonna surely get it. Unfortunately, the shots just aren't that great. Wrecking Crew work well off the back of it. They find the round. It was a slow push, the slow rotation over towards A, but it works out in the end.
Now 4-2 the rounds. And after the restart, we add an extra 2 rounds to the mix. And we're in a pretty good spot here, I think, for Wrecking Crew. They've looked good on the attack. Now they go on to their defense, in which has really just been a handful of rounds where Cows Fly Together has had to make a 1v3 happen. So you're hoping that for Wrecking Crew that you don't find yourself in that position again. Mindshare, though, they have found success at A, and they're going to continue to do just that. Make their way over there. A little bit slower than you might anticipate based on previous rounds, but they're realizing that they are finding at least some adversity from the backside of this A site. So you want to be making sure that you're not giving away too much. And you could just barely. We've got the red outline, but Cows Fly Together. His head was poking out for a moment over the top of this train car to the left of JW. He does not see it happen, and I believe the information is one way here. Cows Fly Together. He's seen some information. Yep, now the stun comes through. That's going to get a little bit of a tag onto JW. The defense not rotated, though. They're just kind of holding those long angles still.
JW using the cover of the smoke here to get that bomb down. Wrecking Crew are not going to stop this, so it is going to be a reactionary play on the defense from the Wrecking Crew. JW trying to get away, isn't going to do so. It's actually that's Geo who falls. JW also falls, though, straight after that, and once again, this falls on the shoulders of Control Swift for a 1 versus 3. Tries to throw a nade out, completely wrong time to do it, sadly. And Wrecking Crew, they're able to put together a retake within 15 seconds. Great from them.
One more round needed. Let's see what comes through this time around. Yeah, it's shots like this that you're seeing from Cowtron and Cows Fly Together of why we were talking about the fact that this team is looking like a major possible contender for the grand finals. They're just shooting really straight. So now it's going to be on to what do they do on their next attack to try to put this first map away. Small reminder again, best of 3, but still single elimination. It looks like the bomb is going to make a long rotation back through Woods over towards B, and Mindshare have fully gambled towards a defensive A setup. If Cowtron can read that nobody's here, this could lead to a very early plant.
And they have to realize sooner or later, right? I mean, I know you've got to be cautious, right? Because if you die here, you lose the round, and well, it's another round you've got to play here on Gunrunner Search and Destroy, but they do realize it. This bomb is now going to go down. And now how quickly do Mindshare react as they send 2 players over 3 crates for the immediate retake. 1 on the flank, but Cows Fly Together going to read it, get some shots taken into him. And they're going to turn around. This would be a great opportunity for Mindshare to actually come in and use the distraction of the player on the flank to get the defuse. I don't know if Wrecking Crew are dumb enough to fall for it, though. The answer is no. Cows Fly Together, though, does lose the first fight. Control Swift ends up winning it. JW is going to get the kill. And what a retake from Mindshare. They win all of their one-on-ones. Cowtron just didn't know where to look. And we are going to see another round here in game 1.
Ooh, defuse the bomb. No.
No! Not like this!
What happened?
JW!
He just killed both of his teammates and lost his team the round.
No!
What? Brody, hold me. So remember that time at the beginning of the broadcast that we were saying it takes 7.5 seconds to defuse the bomb? You probably don't want to kill your 2 teammates at the 9-second mark.
No. Let's be positive about this. He has really good aim. All right. He can hit his targets. He's gonna be annoyed about that. He's gotta put that to the back of his mind. It happened. Let's move on.
Just go next, dude. Let's just go next. What's the next map? Just send it. Send it. What's the next map? I mean,
dude, that happened, and I just.
What do you say?
It took me a moment to sort of realize what happened. For a Mindshare here, they really do have to put that right at the back of their mind and say, look, it happened. Let's move on. I'm sorry, guys. We go again in game number 2. They still have a chance of winning this. Best of 3 at the end of the day, folks. So they can win these next 2 games and still make it on to the semi-finals. It is somewhat unfortunate that it did happen. We do kind of have to take note that it did. Again, it is unfortunate. The worst bit about it was, I feel like it was one of those things where he was like, yeah, I'm just going to kill you guys, get the defuse, and it's going to be a bit of fun. And then he did it with less than 7.5 seconds left. That's not good. That's not good at all. So unfortunate, really, for Mindshare. But they do have another couple of attempts here to take out the Wrecking Crew and make it onto the semifinals.
Yes.
Are you okay, Alan?
I'm just gonna forget that just happened.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
My mind wants to go into it, but my mind is telling me no. one of those things.
Yeah. What's
the next map? Send it. Let's get it. Let's just do it.
I want to hear the rest of that song, man. I want to hear.
You don't want to hear me singing anything, dude. No, you don't want to hear me singing anything.
Oh man, yeah. Oh man,
my range, my actual good singing range is like this wide. I got one note in me.
I'm not a good singer. I think I know this. If I was, I definitely would have had a go in front of Simon Cowell by now. That being said, there was a time when I was singing in my student house, and one of my flatmates was like, "You know, Brody, you're actually a good singer." And from that point onwards, I've always thought of myself as sort of an Elton John in hiding, and that's the way it is. But still, we're in game number 2 now. Mindshare going to have to put that disaster in the last round to the back of their minds as they mentally reset for a game 2. It's Hackney Yard, Search and Destroy.
Pack up top is going to be right behind 2 players. You should see one. There it is. Trigger discipline. There you go. There's the second. A little bit of a slow transfer, but it pays off nonetheless. And now it's just down to SGO boys on the opposite side. No bomb. He's going to run right into the line of sight. Pack is able to read it. Beautiful 3 kills for him. Good opening round for Wrecking Crew.
No problem for a Pack 22 who just sits up in this top window. In a way, I kind of feel like that's one of those situations where if you know Pack 22 has killed your prior teammates in that position, you should probably be pre-aiming that window. That is the adaptation that we expect to see from Mindshare. It's the kind of play that we need to see from them if they're able to put what happened at the end of game number 1 to the back of their minds. Unfortunately, they don't adapt, and Pack 22 finishes round number 1, with a 3-0 start. Let's see what Wrecking Crew can do now in round number 2. As you see Calcide together, going towards the B site, if anything, just scouting it out, but it feels like Wrecking Crew, they're readying themselves for an A push and those first 2 shots going in.
JW gets the opening kill this time. Cowtron still wants to make the play to A. His teammate of Cows Flies Together is all the way through the B site. And you think that if the call is there, you know a player's top L, not going to get the nade to connect, just back up, go plant the bomb at B. But maybe the call touched too late, or maybe perfectly timed. SGO boys actually came from top L, mantled up the top side of AC. It is in a position where Cow might not know he's here. He sees them and says, "Nope, I'm out of here." Gets a read on both players, and yep, now the rotation comes over. This will be a free planet B.
This is so nice, and again, this is the awareness we spoke about. Wrecking Crew, they seem to know exactly what they're doing. They recognize, well, hey, we have 0 control of that A site. There's no way I'm breaking in without risking my life. So I know that this B site's free. I'm gonna get the hell out of Dodge, plant this bomb over at B, and as Cows Fly Together takes out the other player, it's down at SGO boys to clutch up here, get a 1 versus 2, has to get both kills and the defuse realistically. Wrecking Crew and not the type of team, from what we see, to leave that bomb undefended, and there it is, Wrecking Crew 2-0.
Yeah, I love the read. Maybe he came in a little bit slower than you would anticipate, but he still gets the beautiful timing saying, okay, there's number 1, there's number 2. There's only 2 players left. Basic mathematicians would say, if there's 2 here, there should be none over there. I'm going to go over there. I mean, very good read. So, 2-0 up now. Good start. JW, you feel like is still kind of in the doghouse with his teammates when it comes to the last round of Gunrunner. Can he find a way to build on his first kill here in round number 3? Good shots from Cowtron, finds the first blood. Knows there's a player down low, doesn't quite see the elbow on the player sitting up top by the scaffolding, but I think he actually tags his teammate with that nade. A little hard to tell, but regardless, Mindshare seems to be sticking with hitting towards this A site.
Mindshare. This is would be the right call for the most part, but Pack-22 coming from behind. Another execution. Thank you, Pack-22. A lovely little twist to the neck there from Pack-22 has been traded out though, and JW047 left up in a 1 versus 3. Has got that first kill, of course, with a trade. Gets the second as well, and this immediately becomes a possible situation. And hey, here's the awareness from Mindshare. Knows that the last player's over towards B. Goes towards that site, and Caltron, though, is right back out with the Uno reverse card, knows exactly where this player is going to go as soon as he peeks over this wall. There's the kill, and great adaptation from Wrecking Crew. I mean, that right there is just a straight mirror matchup in terms of that move over towards B.
Yep. Nice shots right over the top of the box as well, just to make sure that bomb doesn't get fully planted. And yeah, this is exactly why we're saying that this team is very well could be a grand finals contender. We'll see how things go this time around. Opposite side. No stock on what looked to be a kilo there.
Warzone loadouts. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I've played with the kilo a lot, especially as we saw the kind of meta unfold with the 100 bullet drums on St. Petra openings, but also like you mentioned, it's been pretty favorable in Warzone lately. I don't think I've ever used it with no stock before, but. Boys, able to find first blood. That's Pack right in front of Caltron right here that you see falling, and the stun also connects. Mindshare is going to take control of the warehouse, and Caltron, I think, is misunderstanding that this could be a hit coming out of these doors. Lots of time still on the clock, minute 15 or so to play with. Cows Fly Together is still leaning towards B, and it looks like now finally they'll hit this together as they both have dead silence. They both hit the triggers, and now here comes the hit.
And you say here comes the hit, but here comes SGO Boys also making that rotation over towards the half wall. Really, the question for me is, does Cows Fly Together notice it? No, he's going to run. You're next to each other. You're next to each other, for heaven's sake. The bomb goes down, though, anyway. 40 seconds now for Mindshare to get the defuse. There was an opportunity for SGO Boys to get another kill in this round, but this quickly could go the way of Wrecking Crew, and there it is. Cows Fly Together picks up kill number 1. Now those last two Mindshare players going to come in with a pincer movement. Unfortunately, Control Swift dies to Caltron, and JW047 has to pull off a 1 versus 2 clutch. You've only got 15 seconds left on the clock. There's not a lot of time to squeeze through this round, and there it is. Wrecking Crew still flawless in game number 2.
Good stuff. Nice little snap for Caltron. And this has been pretty convincing. I would say, again, we had a 12-1 technically in our first 2 maps of our previous matchup. And, there were some considerations. I think that KD conversion rates, even though they fell, there were a couple of rounds that very well could have gone their way. This one has been much more convincing, at least in the Hackney Yard. The Gunrunner, there were some moments where Cows Fly Together was forced to essentially clutch the 1v3. Wasn't able to do it. But this Hackney Yard has been domination from all 3 members of Wrecking Crew. Pack even playing around with the mounting just a touch. Gets tagged up, but he's at least hurt his opponents enough to shrug them away, but nades will come through, trades will happen. Caltron up top finds the second kill, now a 2v1 in which Control Swift needs to find a way to clutch up.
He does indeed. A 1 versus 2 clutch here for Control Swift. Bomb in hand, so does have that to work with. And oh my god, this is actually such a perfect play. If you can pick up this kill as it goes through, unfortunately, doesn't have the ADS up, looks the wrong way. Wrecking Crew able to capitalize. A 5-0 start here for the Wrecking Crew. They have played this one so flawlessly. They've adapted to every single situation perfectly. And although there have been a couple of one-on-ones that just have gone their ways, a few 50-50s, which I think Mindshare could definitely have benefited from, this has just been very good play from Wrecking Crew. And as you have mentioned before, this is why we are talking about this team being a potential finals contender. They are very good.
Yeah. Yeah, very talented. And it's not just one player, right? It's not even just 2 players. All 3 of them are looking really solid. So we'll see how things maneuver here. Looking for this clean 6-0 capitalization. Pack finds first blood. JW looking for a trade. Not quite able to get the angle in time, and he actually takes a couple of shots. So now both members of Wrecking Crew know that he's back here, but it doesn't matter for the first. J1's still able to find the trade. Searching for it behind is Pack, who will just barely catch the timing on JW before he gets behind cover. So now it goes to a 2v1, minute 20 to play, favoring Wrecking Crew.
And this Wrecking Crew roster looking pretty good to close this one out. Control Swift, 0-5 start. Now she needs to pick up 2 kills in quick succession to keep Mindshare alive. Cows Fly Together now going to activate that Dead Silence as soon as he turns this corner. Oh, she's actually down low. So Cows Fly Together still has a ways to go before he runs into her. Pack 22 now going to run for this bomb down. And Control Swift just keeping that angle still. Little does she know this bomb is going down. Now the question is, how quickly does Control Swift react? With no Dead Silence on, I feel like Cows Fly Together is going to have heard her, and 8 goes out. Pack 22, actually he isn't going to react. A stun goes out, but I believe the perk is going to save him at least momentarily. Or not, he does get affected by the stun. And Control Swift actually has managed to get onto the bomb site. It's now just a question of how much damage you can do as the shots do go off. She reveals her position. Wrecking Crew know all they need to do is just defend this bomb from being defused. I don't think that defuse is even at the forefront of her mind at the moment. And with just 3 seconds left, this will surely confirm it. There she goes, straight towards the bomb. Wrecking Crew, a 6-0 clean game 2 to guarantee themselves a place in the semi-finals here at the Agency Showdown.
Yeah, really good stuff through and through from all 3 players. We've said it a handful of times before, but it merits being re-mentioned just one final time as the nail is put into coffin this time through. But again, Gunfight comes up next. So for a team that has heavily relied on M4s all the way through their runs thus far, what are their handles going to look like when they have to play with random weapons? Gunfight is one of those things tomorrow that you'll hear us talk about specifically, but more often than not, you have to be really good with pistols. Not only because you have 2 rounds of guaranteed pistols, but the shotguns are usually not the weapon you're going to play with. You're going to play with your secondary, which is usually a pistol. So you're usually getting 4 rounds worth of pistol gunplay. And at the more higher levels with city circuit competitors, people that do wagers and challenges on Gunfight, it really does come down to what happens in those pistol rounds. So I have to imagine that we're probably going to see the shotguns being used a lot more liberally tomorrow with these caliber of players than you would maybe with the, if you followed along with the city circuit at all, or if you follow streamers that play in Gunfight wagers. They typically don't go to the shotgun all that often. So we'll see how things kind of unfold. But regardless, they're not going to have their M4s. That's the biggest kind of takeaway.
Yep.
What happens when you put them on different weapons?
Yeah, I will say as well, we have our chat with all the players. JW, of course, just being eliminated, has just said, "Oh hey, friendly fire is on." I think
but you didn't realize after he killed the first player he killed? What? No chance.
Oh, it's a meme. It's a meme now. They're asking the question. Hopefully it is a meme now. It is a meme. You've given us a lovely meme to talk about. We'll call that the JW moment. At the end of the game, when you need to win, just kill your teammates. Don't defuse. Don't give yourself enough time to defuse the bomb. That's the way to play.
Wild times.
Search Destroy. A wild time indeed. But it does mean we have our second team in the bracket through to the semi-finals. Wrecking Crew join the off patents, and they will be there. We have 2 more slots to give out tonight. Our next match up is going to be Flicker versus Goats from State Farm. Your favorite team name, Chet McSteel, is coming into the game. He's not alone though, because we have a few celebrities of the Agency Showdown returning. Red Rum, as I used to call him, Redrum, and Shifters absolutely just revealed everything for me by calling him Red Rum, or Murder Backwards. We need some confirmation, and here's the bracket very quickly for you guys. This is how it currently looks. So the off patents are through from their earlier matchup versus KD conversion rate, and Wrecking Crew also through versus Mindshare. It is important to note as well that the winner of this match will be going head-to-head with off patents for a place in the final of the second Agency Showdown. Wrecking Crew will have to wait for our final match of the evening between Farm Team and 789 to decide who goes through to that final. It's going to be a great ending to today. We're halfway through today's matches. I'm excited to continue it.
Yeah, me too. Farm Team, it just seems strange because the team with cows on them is not Farm Team, which seems like missed opportunity there. But that was the other squad that we were looking at that looked good as a full 3-man squad. And I think, after yesterday, we were kind of pinning them up as potentially being early favorites. But the semifinals will have to go through, if they win their quarterfinal, of course. Their semifinals would have to go through that Wrecking Crew team. So I would say that right now, that's a matchup that I would anticipate seeing. pending anything kind of crazy happens with 789 being able to surprise in my mind. But that very well, I think, if they were on opposite sides of the bracket, very well could be a grand finals matchup. So we'll see how they kind of match up with one another if that does end up happening in gunfight. Again, everything changes tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see how things kind of unfold. I believe that is the 7 o'clock slated matchup, Farm Team and 789. So hopefully as we get into Flicka and Goats from State Farm, we'll kind of be able to help frame that matchup to conclude the evening appropriately. So yeah, can't wait to see my boy Chet McSteel, dude.
Yeah, Chet McSteel is the guy that we're taking a look at to give you guys an idea of what the rosters look like for this matchup, pending any changes. It's Chet McSteel, Red Rum for 2, and Thinking 1. All super sweet names. I love calling every single one of them, especially Chet McSteel, for this matchup. That is the Flicker lineup. For Goats from State Farm, we have a Bag of Milk returning, which is just hilarious. What a name that is, alongside Notorious and a Pizza Tattoo, another one that's quite creative. I love your guys' names. If we want to be positive about anything here, it's the fact that all of your names are just great. They're so creative. They're so great to call. I love it every single time. I've always wanted to call a Bag of Milk wins the final 1-on-1 to make it through to the next round. And
the imagery, dude.
Yeah, it's like a Bag of Milk just swings around and takes them out. But yeah, it's going to be great to see how this match goes down, because of course you talk about the sort of the players that stand out for me here. Bag of Milk, of course, is one of our MVP candidates. There's just a reason for that, right? I mean, he got 18 kills in game number 1 yesterday. I think followed up with game number 2 with a relatively similar performance. Probably is leading in terms of kills across the board going into day number 2 of play. And on the other side of that, you've got a roster that I feel is relatively well balanced, right? I don't think there's one standout player. If I had to pick one, it would actually probably be Thinking 1, who seems to be just a notch above the other two. But that being said, they are pretty good players across the board here. Every single player can perform at various levels. I will say the one thing I'd like to see improvement-wise from Flicker is the positioning of their sniper rifle play, right? I think it was Red Rum who carried it yesterday on St. Petrograd. And generally speaking, when you do have a sniper rifle, you see them in the mid-map covering that cross towards A. That wasn't the case. Red Rum was actually positioning for a river play, which is a secondary place. You do see it, but I don't think it's as useful. And if they can improve on that, if they can really get that down, this could be an easy affair for a team like Flicker.
Yep. Very well could be. It's just for a Bag of Milk. He's got to go big, man. He's going to have to go even more massive than yesterday. I mean, his other two teammates around him, we didn't really see much from them. Whereas for Flicka, maybe not the most convincing trio we saw all day, but it was a 3-man squad that did perform at least somewhat evenly outside of our boy Chet McSteel.
Chet McSteel.
Man, dude, now I want to see like some like runoff spoof spy movie where the lead character is Chet McSteel.
Yeah. Oh man, we're entering the danger zone as Chet McSteel is in the game. I just love the name so much. There's just, oh man, it's like he's a writer for some kind of 80s TV show. Chet McSteel is obviously, as we said yesterday, played by Tom Cruise. But Flicker going to start this one off on the offense. We see Ramazo for the first time today, and as we all know, this map does favor those close quarter engagements. We're immediately seeing it in the mid-map as Chet McSteel looks for first blood, gets it against Pizza Tattoo.
Had some help there as well from Red Rum. King able to take down Bag of Milk, who was really stretching to make his way over to that side staircase to help get a trade. So now it's just down to Notorious. In a 1v3, he's top gun. Still a lot of patience being showcased from Flicka. Red Rum up top gets the information, but just a little bit too late. Notorious finds his first kill. Stun up top will connect, but it's not really in the position that I think Thinking thinks it is. Chet McSteel on the back, though, is watching the back doors of Gun Shop. Dead silence ready to go, and now he's going to try to contest.
He's indeed Flicker. In a 2 versus 1 scenario. I think they relatively know where Notorious is. There it is! There's the kill. The pre-aim from Notorious, I don't think was ready to get those shots off. Unfortunately, that does mean that the player who was going up the stairs in Chet McSteel looks for the kill and is easily able to get it. The hip fire too, man. I don't know if that's a little bit of BM coming through or if that's just he genuinely couldn't be bothered to ADS.
And P7 in hands as well, another different SMG that we don't see a lot of. outside of... Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. We see a lot of it in Warzone still, right? Looks good. I don't. It's still in my loadouts personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people are still like using like the new LMGs and the Bruin and all that stuff. Like, and we're not seeing as much SMG because there have just been some insane assault rifles and LMGs that have been added. But I would say out of SMGs, between that and the MP5, probably your most two common loadout-based weapons in Warzone. But multiplayer has not found the same kind of love. Bag of Milk takes down Chet McSteel. Thinking one. Could potentially take shots at players in the backside of the secret area bridge. I don't know if he realizes that's a spot or not. And you also see Red Rum underneath. Yeah, I think here's a handful of these footsteps, but he's not really in a position to do much with that intel. Oh boy. Crab walk peek.
No.
Semtex is actually in a good spot. Yeah, it's gonna hit.
I think he's stuck in as well, potentially. Don't know if
he would have died if he was stuck.
Oh, that's true, that's true. Well, still. It's a great hit from Bag of Milk with that nade. And a 3 versus 1 scenario. The Goats from State Farm walk away with it. What a great offensive push towards construction.
Yeah, good stuff. Bag of Milk comes around the corner. MP7 going to find favor in those close quarters almost every single time. So we asked for Bag of Milk to step up, get his team a little bit of momentum early. He's done that, keeping things even, 1-1. And you're also seeing the rest of his teammates. We know that the MP5 is being held for Notorious. He made use of that last time for a pizza tattoo. He's running an M4. So, again, pretty meta loadout as far as weapons go, with really the only exception being the MP7. But if it works, it works. And you can actually see on the X-ray there, flashing is a Bag of Milk, which means that he has used his dead silence to get into this position. It's going to expire, but he can sit up top. He's going to see a player at range. That's Thinking one down. Is he going to anticipate 2 players on the outside, though? He will at least see 1. There's a second, though. Chet McSteel's right around the corner. He's taking shots through the doorway, and he will find the trade, but it comes at a pretty steep cost. It would be a technical 1v3 for Chet McSteel to clutch up.
And there is a wealth of time to work with if you are Chet McSteel. So this is not necessarily a bad situation to be in for Chet, but you've still got a long journey to make, and he's opening every single door as loudly as humanly possible. I think Notorious is ready for this hit as soon as Chet McSteel walks outside. There it is. Chet, though, almost able to get away. Notorious peeks out a little bit wider to finish off the kill. And that's a great round from Goats from State Farm right off the start. It was first couple of kills coming in, and although a Bag of Milk was able to fall in the end, Notorious finishes up shop, picks up where a Bag of Milk left off.
Yeah, I mean, again, the dead silence push was successful. These are things that we talk about, or you will hear a lot when it comes to the CDL, especially this upcoming weekend for Champs. Dead silence pushes off the rip for search and destroy. You need to take away the map position, and you're hoping you can catch a couple of members off guard, and that's indeed the case here for a Bag of Milk. 4-2 start for him, but I think more importantly, he's getting good help from his teammates this time around. 2-1 from Notorious, and just the 1 kill so far for a pizza tattoo, but he just hasn't seen much action yet. I mean, that's the whole thing, is he hasn't really had a chance to shine because his teammates are killing everything. Red Rum, oh my goodness, shots over the top of the bomb site from a Bag of Milk as he responded late to Red Rum. We're good. So now another situation for numbers for Goats for State Farm, 3-on-2. Bomb's not going to be committed for a plant yet. Still maybe wanting 1 more kill before they commit to trying to get the bomb planted, but I say that, and a Bag of Milk will try to push forward and take away some more of the map from Flicka.
Goes from State Farm, slowly looking to get this bomb down over towards B, but of course the longer they take, the better positioning they give up to Flicker. Thinking one and Chet McSteel sit inside, looking for more kills. There it is, the activity from Thinking one takes down a Bag of Milk. That's the player, the name that you want to take off the list. And now Pizza Tattoo has to clutch up here. They have the bomb, as you say. This is very problematic from Goats from State Farm, because as a Bag of Milk dies, the bomb falls with him. It's now down to Notorious, who has to retake this B site, grab that bomb, get it down. And the problem is, Thinking one absolutely knows. Like, he knows exactly where this bomb is and pre-aims the right door, or just pre-aims the right door. I don't know if that's a thing, but Flicker, take the round anyway.
Yeah, good stuff. I think Bag of Milk, you would have wanted that round back. Just get the bomb down. You know, you clear so much space around the B site. It's just one of those situations that you're waiting for another kill, and that passive moment is what leads to them losing the round. You get the objective down, you can play more passive afterwards in a post-plant setup. So I think that that's one that we'll see if they find themselves in a situation like that in the future, that he probably makes that adjustment saying, okay, we've got numbers. Let me try to get the bomb down. Or maybe the other call is, hey, if the entire team of Goats from State Farm is looking at a bag of milk to find kills, give the bomb to somebody else that you're not maybe looking to clutch up, to sit there and say that, yeah, we're in a 3v2, but we want to make sure that a bag of milk's weapon is still active every single moment. That could very well be another adjustment as well. Bag of milk, once again, top side. He climbs the ladder, top cafe, finds a free kill onto Chet McSteele, and now for Flicka, everything comes to a pause as they realize the threat is nearby.
Thinking one throws out the stun over towards the mid-map. I wasn't able to convert the kill, as obviously Chet McSteele is already down. Flicker need to clutch up here, and Red Rum 2 has a couple of players on his plate. Has to go for the kills. There it is, does get one, walks away with a second. The dual pistols coming out, and we'll get this bomb down, I think, before anyone can come in and cause any kinds of problems. Almost gets away with his life. A bag of milk able to pick up the kill, and defuse coming in from Goats from State Farm. But so far, 5 rounds deep shift. This is a really close matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, been very, very, very close. And again, we wanted Bag of Milk. We were kind of talking, can he find a way to carry his team through the finish line of this matchup versus Flicka? So far, he's been able to do that. But like you mentioned, with a pretty, with a stronger supporting cast around him this time. On the opposite, you know, of course, we're looking at Chet McSteele to do some incredible things. But he's been taken out as first blood pretty regularly thus far. So you're kind of looking at this of how can you keep Chet alive a little while longer, and will he be able to bring the same kind of prowess that a bag of milk has so far?
Flicker now looking to put 2 of their eggs in the basket that is A, defending this site relatively well. Now, regularly speaking, you do see the players on the offense move straight across the bridge here. Goes from State Farm going for a different strategy. Chet scared me to death there, because generally speaking, when you make that jump, you die. He managed to survive it somehow. Goes from State Farm still slowly but surely making their way up towards A. That first kill goes the way of a pizza tattoo. That's a great first head to take. Thinking one is down. Goats from State Farm now have full control over this A site, and once again, Flicker have to retake.
Yeah. But the bomb hasn't been planted yet, and as Red Rum gets himself on the board with his second kill, once again, you're looking at the passive objective play. It's Bag of Milk who's got the bomb top third. He's not going to be able to find a way to plant this without giving up his position, which is a good one. So tough decisions to be made, and while he's kind of minding those potential decisions, he loses his second teammate again. Something's got to change here. I mean, if you're trusting Bag of Milk to find the kills, and you don't want to lose that weapon going for a plant on the objective, you got to give it to somebody else. But this kind of looks like a Bag of Milk is trying to wear all the hats at the same time for his team, and it very well could cost them in this 1v1 situation. Not a lot of time to play with 20 seconds and no dead silence, so he's going to have to sneak his way kind of crab walking forward, try to get this bomb planted. And Red Run for 2's to the front door.
This is so janky, man. A Bag of Milk. Just going for it. Red Rum. Just peek. Just check it. Please, just check it. Oh, he gets away. No, he doesn't. A Bag of Milk runs right up those stairs. Rejump for 2 has the shots. Able to get the defuse. 3-3. A situation that could have well been Goats from State Farm. I think if they would got that bomb down a little bit quicker, maybe, and was able to defend it a lot better. But it doesn't turn out that way.
Yeah, second offense in a row that the big takeaway is get the objective down when you take the bomb site. Have to. Put yourself in such a good position to play off the objective timer. And yeah, I need to see Goats from State Farm change up who's carrying the bomb, I think, because it really does feel like the conversation here is that they're looking at Bag of Milk to do it all. You have to trust somebody else to make a play.
Do indeed. Flicker now on the offense. Let's see if they can get down this offensive bomb faster than Goats from State Farm were able to on the prior offensive round. The problem here, of course, with Flicker, though, is that Goats from State Farm are great on the defense. They've got all the right angles covered. A Bag of Milk pre-aims the correct door that Chet still comes through, takes his head off, and immediately Flicker at a disadvantage here as they attempt to get this bomb down. Their secret weapon, though, at the moment, is Red Rum, sitting mid-map If he can peek out this door, get a couple of kills, this will change the round entirely, but he has to go off here. I don't think there's any way that Thinking One gets out of ruins with this bomb alive.
Yeah, it's going to make for a really tough hit. But he could very well wrap this back to A. Well, I said that, and Bag of Milk hits the dead silence, and he's actually moving around through bottom side of Cafe. Nope, he's actually going to hit the flank. I was about to say, Red Room is actually watching the correct door, but is anyone going to anticipate the long wrap from a Bag of Milk? I don't think so. Thinking One is moving way too slowly to get away from this play that's imminently coming, although he checks the corner properly, the headshot, or the hip shot rather, not going to connect. And so now it's just down to Red Rum, who has also used his dead silence. He's making his way into the bottom side of the gun shop, and on the staircase, he makes his point of contact. And Goats from State Farm able to keep their narrow edge 4-3.
Goats from State Farm, again, they get that early round advantage thanks to a Bag of Milk. And then, of course, it is again a Bag of Milk who is able to extend it with a kill inside Ruins. I feel a little bit disappointed somewhat that Red Rum wasn't able to snap on. I feel like if you're in that situation, if you ADS, you might have a better chance of winning that gunfight. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen, and a Bag of Milk walks away with the fight. And now, moving into round number 8 here. Again, this is a big decider. We always talk about the difference between 5-3 and 4-4. It's a big one because if Goats from State Farm win this, they're on map point, and Flicker have to find 3 flawless back-to-back rounds. But there it is, Ridrum picks up the first kill. A Bag of Milk, the most notorious player on Goats from State Farm, out of the round.
You have to win this round now if you're Flicka. Although, Red Rum, ooh, he's got a player right around the corner from him. And I believe there's another one upstairs. Oh, does he see him? I think now he does. Gets blessed with some hip fire. King One fell to his death from the top third. We've seen that too many times, I would say, in this tournament thus far. And as the trade comes out, now it's down to Chet McSteel. He's been blooded in a lot of these first 7 rounds. Now he's got to find a way to clutch up this 1v1.
This has to be a win. I mean, I know you said it earlier on, but this has to be a win for Chet McSteel. Activates the dead silence, and this is actually a good time to activate it. You've got to make a go of it. If anything, just going to check out the house. Unfortunately for Chet McSteel, while I do absolutely agree with the dead silence call there, it isn't going to work out for him. His dead silence is going to run out as Notorious makes that rotation over towards B. This is a free plant for Notorious, and any second now, Chet McSteel is going to realize his mistake.
Now he has. Rotation is on. He's going to make the play through the mid side of Cafe. His opponent in Notorious is second floor construction. Now on the side stairs, a very good position to be in to watch over this bomb. Chet is pretty aware of it and is hard scoping it. The timing is everything.
No.
He's going to stun this, going to get some information. Now you got to make the shell come through. You got to get there quick. He's going to go to the collie sticks, and he will find the kill. Now up and over.
No!
You got to go back to the bomb. He's not going to have the time. He needed to jump the railing. He's not going to have the time.
Oh, just to try and defuse anyway. That's a round they needed to win. It's as simple as that, right? The Goats from State Farm, they clutch up again. The last remaining player does enough, and Notorious gets the kill with a bomb in the end. But that is one of those unfortunate, I think, differences, again, between the play that we are used to casting over shift and the play that we see here. He just didn't know that he could make that jump over and survive the fall. And, well...
Well, on the opposite side, you've got your teammate who thinks he can make the jump and falls to his death. So,
yeah.
I mean, those two things leading to what should be a 4-4 round count, now a 5-3. Big mistakes from Flicka. And a Bag of Milk who has gotten just enough help from his teammates this time around are on map point for this first of what would be a best of 3.
Flawless search and destroy play now from Flicker. Can they do it? 5-3 down here. Every single player is negative so far in this game. Maybe this is where they start to step things up. They're very spread out as well, which is very odd for an offensive push. We talk about before this game that these players, they need to start coming up with team pushes together. That is the difference maker. And here, this is just not happening because at this point in time, Notorious may be alone on B, but if these players go in one by one, he'll be perfectly fine to take them down.
Everyone's all over the map. And this very well could be a round that's resolved by if you win your ones. Because there are literally 1v1 matchups, if you just look at the minimap, that you could see that could very well unfold. The Thinking one. He's going to make his way over to the site. Red Rum going to try to put a nade top closet. Nobody's there. Notorious doesn't see Thinking, and he's going to be upset about that. He didn't fully peek the bomb, and now he realizes a door has been bursted right below him. Pizza Tattoo 1v1 with Chet McSteel doesn't turn up his way. Bag of Milk is also here. Yeah, you find the kill, but now you've got to run all the way back over to the opposite site. This timing is going to be really, really dicey. He's got that silence in play, moving quick enough to get here, but the problem is both defensive members are on opposite sides of this site, so as he sees one player escape to the side stairs, there's just not going to be enough time. There's the first kill, not able to get the second, but even if he does get the snap on, the clock would have been an issue, and yeah, just lingering a little bit too long towards the A site, kind of chasing kills, leads to a lost round.
And Dead Silence was used as well, was utilized there by a Bag of Milk in that attempt to clutch up. So that no longer in the back pocket for a Bag of Milk. And of course, we know just how crucial Dead Silence can be, which you can earn it relatively quickly. So it shouldn't be that much of a problem, but still not available at the start of this round. Goes from State Farm now on the offense, looking again for the final round here in game number 1. Bag of Milk taking point with the bomb, I might add as well. Oh, yeah. Is this a spot? Okay, I thought for a second he'd found some crazy spot, but it doesn't matter. His shot's going down. He's on his own, throws the smoke out. What a strat to get away like Batman in the night. Able to get away from that fight. And Goats from State Farm now looking to put this bomb down. I will say they do have a B site that's entirely free.
Well, they got Red Rum who's nearby, but yeah, this is, we talked about it, this is 100% just an exemplification of a Bag of Milk trying to do everything by himself. He's got the bomb, he's going into a 1v question mark situation over at A, he's not playing with his teammates at all, and somehow it's working out, as I think he got a little bit of information maybe from a teammate, as Bag of Milk is going to try to play the 1v1 versus Red Rum for 2 over top gun shop. I'm a bit surprised Thinking 1 hasn't made the rotation yet. As you should know when you hear an MP7 that it's a Bag of Milk, and again, we get the information that he's been the bomb carrier every single round, but you feel like if you've been paying attention that should be information for you as well. Timing is going to be everything here. There's the second kill. Now plant the bomb if you're Bag of Milk. Again, he's playing for kills, but you got 35 seconds. Now the rotation's coming over. You need to get this objective down.
You do. Please, Milk. You're going to go off before this bomb goes down. Finally, he does do so. And the bomb now, or the timer, sorry, goes up to 45 seconds. Flicker have just one player left here to clutch up. If not, they go 1-0 down in this series. It's Thinking 1. Can he do it? The only player that is, well, even on his team. Going to have to go positive. 9 and 6 to clutch this one up. Doesn't happen. A Bag of Milk going to hit fire for the final kill, and yet another standout performance from a Bag of Milk. You said this is an exemplification of him doing everything by himself, but to be fair, he can do it, right? 6-4 performance in game number 1. It is the Goats from State Farm who are 1-0 up.
Yep, Bag of Milk doing everything. It just barely comes through with enough. Man, I'll tell you though, it's getting a little scary at certain times. It's one of those that we really hit it a lot yesterday with a Bag of Milk literally had to do everything for his teammates because his supporting cast wasn't participating at the same level that they are today. But now that you're starting to get a little bit more participation out of your second and third member of your squad, you need to trust them, I think, to just pick up the bomb and make a play on their own. You know, if you want to go chase down kills, and that's where your win condition is, you can still do that, but don't have the bomb with you, because if you start to make those aggressive push-throughs and you fall, now you're trusting your teammates to go into a 2v3, having to pick up the bomb from what will likely be a pretty precarious position. And yeah, it's a really risky play overall, but this first map, it just barely edged them into the win 6-4. So we'll see what happens in our second map, or potentially a third if we need it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Flicker, this is not the same roster we saw yesterday on St. Petrograd. I feel like they're mistakes they were making yesterday, they got away with them because obviously it was round number one. The team they were facing wasn't as good as the Goats from State Farm. This is a situation where I feel like their mistakes, they are being punished, and they need to fix them up because, again, on the defense, they're being a little bit too slow in terms of reacting to the offensive pushes, and also on the offense. And I will say Goats from State Farm are also guilty of this. They're taking way too long to get the objective down when they have it right in their hands. And that's the problem right now, right? I mean, they are just not taking the advantages that are being handed to them. If they can start to recognize when those situations come forward, then maybe things change here in game number 2. Of course, it is also depending on the map. A Bag of Milk has done very, very well with that MP7, and that is because it's Ramasa. Ramasa is close quarter engagements pretty much everywhere, apart from maybe Bridge. But beyond that, maybe on a map like Hackney Yard, things change for a Bag of Milk, and maybe Flicker have an opportunity, an opening, even to tie the series up at 1-1.
Yeah, indeed the case. I'm interested to see what map we get next. Ramaz is one of those that, like we talked about, does favor the SMG gameplay. So you figure a Bag of Milk with the MP7, we'll be able to do those kind of pop-off things. But if we get Arkloff Peak is in the map pool, by the way, just to keep you that in reminder.
Oh,
and
yeah.
3v3, that map is literally like a ground war map. But if we get maps like Gunrunner even, I'm also thinking of potentially, I don't know if Piccadilly's in the map set or not. I don't imagine it would be. But it very well could, because again, we're going off of CDL playlists. So maybe that's an option. I don't think you want to go to those places if you're a Bag of Milk. You want to go to a spot like Hackney Yard. You want to go to a spot like even maybe Petro, just to kind of get into the Valve and the sites themselves. So yeah, we'll kind of see how things unfold from here. But overall, I'm just kind of hoping that a Bag of Milk will kind of free up his teammates to be allowed to do more, because they're showing that they can.
Yeah, they're starting to get a lot better. I feel after yesterday, where I felt like they were kind of not in the game all that much. A Bag of Milk was literally doing everything, and those other players were maybe getting a couple of kills here and there. That is still the case slightly, I will say. Obviously, a Bag of Milk is still front and center in this game for the Goats from State Farm. But as you say, they definitely need to start trusting each other a little bit more. The difference maker for a team like Wrecking Crew, for example, has just been playing as a team, trusting each other to watch the angles. We saw it so perfectly on that round 1 of Gunrunner versus the team they faced just a moment ago. We need to see that level of trust from Goats from State Farm, because just as we talked about Flicker taking advantage of the opportunities that are handed to them, for Goats from State Farm, if they can close that window, this will become a lot less shaky for them. They will probably walk away with this one a lot easier. So that's the situation. That's the lay of the land for these two teams.
Yep, be the case. We'll see how things go when we get to the map, whenever that does indeed happen. But a Bag of Milk, you got to remember, is also an MVP candidate. So if you like what you've seen, make sure you vote for him. And it will be Gunrunners. So a map that he very well could still find some value with this MP7. And you're seeing exactly, he knows where those positions are as he quickly rotates right over towards the vent rooms. He's going to have a teammate with him this time around. And there could be some contact made in the vent. Red Room for 2 with some really slow reactions. Not going to get the kill. And that's the bomb down as well.
That is really, really rough, because now, of course, with the leaning mechanic in, a Bag of Milk can just sit there, lean through that vent. This bomb is essentially irretrievable at this point for Flicker. We're going to need to see some serious gymnastics from Thinking One for him to be able to retrieve this bomb from a Bag of Milk. Unless a Bag of Milk gets overly aggressive, which might happen here, but it doesn't matter anyway, as a Bag of Milk picks up the kill. Of course he will, with an MP7 at that range, and now it's left up to Check McSteel to perform a 1 versus 3. We're going to need to see you do your own stunts here, Tom Cruise.
Well, Bag of Milk is going to hold his position again. But why not this time? You're just defending this bomb, and I imagine you probably know it's down. Chet McSteel making the play up through water ramp. We'll actually cut into the vent control room window by the look of it, and yeah, he's not going to find the kill. Last player sitting in a corner off screen. See how things go.
There it is. Peter Tattoo picks up the kill onto Chet McSteel. Closes out a round that was started off so well by a Bag of Milk. And again, this is just exemplifies exactly what we've been talking about in regard to the Goats from State Farm. It is a Bag of Milk that opens up these rounds, and it seems to actually be Notorious and a Pizza Tattoo who are able to bat it home, as it were. Goats from State Farm start this one 1-0 up. They now go on the offense straight towards the mid-map. A Bag of Milk does have a player right in front of them. It's Red Rum for 2. Thinking One also makes some noise over towards the crate. Goats from State Farm, look for this, push towards B. First blood goes the way of a Bag of Milk. Thinking One peeks out, gets the kill onto a Pizza Tattoo. This will slow up the push, and they're in great position to get a second as well. But a Bag of Milk gets that kill against Chet McSteel, and Thinking One in a 1 versus 2. And there it is.
There it is. Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, he's just, again, the best player in the lobby. I think we kind of knew that coming in, that Bag of Milk probably would be. The big question was he going to be able to find the same 1v3 potential in this matchup versus a better set of 3 in Flicka? And so far, the answer has been yes. So we'll see how things kind of go as we move further forward. And for Flicka, you got to find a way to either avoid this guy or trio up and just hit something together and play for trades. And it looks like this time Flicka will actually do just that. They'll group together. Wolfpack go over towards the A site. And they're taking their time. They're very afraid of what could be lingering. And with that, it's going to allow some opportunity for Goats from State Farm to realize that no one's at the B site.
How do Flicka react to this? That's the question, because like they're being very slow here, right? I mean, there's 40 seconds that has already passed in this round, and all they've done with that time is essentially make their way through the mine towards the door that leads to A. And in that time, Goats from State Farm have already realized what's happening. A Bag of Milk, the star of the show for Goats from State Farm, has made his way over towards this A site, ready for this push from Flicka. There's the first blood. Red Rum for 2 is down. Chet McSteel and Thinking One now have to get this bomb down. 1 man down, and a Bag of Milk still in the area.
A Bag of Milk long range MP7 doesn't normally do well, but he doesn't miss a bullet. So yeah, now it's just down to Thinking One, and 7 kills already coming through for a Bag of Milk. Kill happens way back over. That's actually a double. Both members for Goats for State Farm. That's not a Bag of Milk. We're trying to play around the flank. So now he realizes that, okay, I have to clutch this one up again, find all 3 kills in the round. Really for both players. Thinking One's going to have to stick this at B. He's taking too much time. You got to get on here and plant. And he's allowed opportunity for Bag of Milk to get the Dead Silence charged and start making the rotation over. This is going to be a pretty level 1v1. And now that the stun comes out, it won't connect, but that's information that Bag of Milk knows that this player has to be over here by the bomb. Time is about to expire. Bag of Milk comes through. Bomb gets planted. Post-plant kill. Very easily found. Thinking One, no chance to escape.
A Bag of Milk is dominating this game. I mean, if he was in a 1 versus 3, I feel like he might still win this. And I think that just goes to show just how good a Bag of Milk actually is. In that scenario, I think made literally the perfect play. I think left it for about 20 seconds. Thought, you know what? Thinking One is not going to come to this bomb site. Makes the rotation with Dead Silence enabled, which is something we talked about in terms of how these teams are using their Dead Silence. Are they using it correctly? And will that change going into today? Well, here is our answer. The answer, absolutely it will. Brilliant play from a Bag of Milk, and now a 3-0 start from the Goats from State Farm.
Bag of Milk a little bit slower this time off the rip. Sees the player mid-map, not going to get the connection, runs away, making sure he doesn't get tagged up by nades or gunfire alike. Now catches Chet McSteel trying to push across. Red Rum sniping the backside of the train yard, but he's going to have to find a way to connect now in a 1v2 situation. Sniper or pistol is all he'll have, and the problem with this setup is the fact that if he wants to trade that pistol for an automatic weapon, he's got to push into the middle of the map, which is by no means safe.
It isn't. Indeed. A Pizza Tattoo and Notorious left up here for Goats from State Farm. A Pizza Tattoo makes that rotation over towards B. Dead Silence has been enabled for APT. And now Red Rum for 2 has to get this defuse on the bomb. The good news for Red Rum here is he's not going up against a Bag of Milk. So there is that. You've got to take every win you can get at this point in the game if you're Flicka. And, well, Red Rum is a relatively talented player here in the Agency Showdown, so has the potential to do this. Freak down the corner, a Pizza Tattoo is going to die. Now Notorious, a 1 versus 1 for this round. If Red Rum hops this bomb, this could be a great opportunity for a Ninja defuse. but spots out the player. Does he spot out the player? Actually, I don't think he does. Jumping straight on the defuse. If Notorious checks this, it's done.
Good stuff. I mean, this bag of milk guy, here's the scary thing. If they clean up this gunrunner and they finish it off with a W going into tomorrow's gunfight, I'd be terrified to play up against a bag of milk. Because you're going to go into a gunfight mode in which he very well could just do it all himself. The one big negative that we've kind of had that could potentially maybe be a thorn in the side for this squad of goats from State Farm is if a bag of milk gets too aggressive, tries to do too many things himself by playing the objective and playing for kills and playing for the time. You know, that's not going to be the case. You know, tomorrow in a gunfight situation, that's all you have to do is get kills. So I would say the favor for a team like a Goats or State Farm just goes higher and higher when you have to deal with a player like a bag of milk who's 10-1 through 5 rounds of gameplay.
Goats from State Farm now. A 3 versus 1 scenario. Thinking One has had a 1 versus 3 to go for already in this one. The difference, of course, last time was a 1 versus 1 against Bag of Milk was how it concluded. And, of course, the latter ended up winning that one. But Thinking One has a player in his sights. No dead silence anymore. Not even going to win that fight as Goats from State Farm find their 5th round. What a 1-on-1.
Pizza Tattoo, again, showcasing that if he can get an opportunity to get involved where it's not just a bag of milk show, he can still find kills. That's been true thus far. He's done well. Again, the supporting cast has been better today. Yesterday, it was all just a bag of milk. I mean, everything. That's why he was an MVP candidate going into today, is the fact that he did it literally all himself, and he did it to a successful extent. So now, 5-0 up. Chet, 0-5, really needs to turn things around if he wants to give his team a chance. You don't really see a world where Flicka can win 6 in a row if Chet doesn't get more involved. Red Rum, oh boy. He's looking low. There's a player high, and there are actually a couple of players that are here. Timing here should be good for a kill, and he still nearly loses it. Gets a second, so now you need everything to come down to a bag of milk for a 1v3. And not gonna happen. Beautiful play here, Red Rum, for all 3 kills.
Beautiful from Red Rum. Hey, he's woken up. Is activated, as it were, picking up that 1 versus 3. And Flicker have a round on the board. Hey, maybe this is the start of the full sale here in the Agency Showdown.
Well, I mean, it would have to be, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Just the way that it works, I mean, it would have to be. So, yeah, we'll see. But I'm still thinking that you need to get Chet involved more. He needs to find a couple of kills, get himself on the board. Otherwise, it's just, you know, you do find a good round there from Red Rum, but do you think he's going to do it 5 more times? Probably not.
You never know, man. You never know. This could be Red Rum's time to shine, as it is Flicker on the offense here. Trying to make their way over towards, it would seem, A. As Red Rum with his bomb in hand, looking to make his way over. And Goats from State Farm. The longer, again, Flicker take to get this bomb down, the longer Goats from State Farm have to rotate a player over towards A. And would you look at that? 7 on the minimap, moving over towards A.
I think they're realizing that with the push through to B, that there's only one place they can be. So yeah, this is the right call. Honestly, Pizza Tattoo needs to give up his position, make his way over to mid-map because there's nobody here. And yeah, this timing is going to be something else, man. This is too slow for Flicka. Here comes the play from behind. Need to find the kill. They do. But now that should be information gained. That's 2 players that Notorious should have seen. A bag of milk up top has not made his position revealed yet. Thing King on the backside. 1v1, not going to win versus the Pizza Tattoo. Able to chase down Chet McSteel, and now it's just down to Red Rum. He needs to find the last 2 kills. Here's the first in line. The Pizza Tattoo falls. And he does not know where a bag of milk is, and they rotate right past one another.
This is super interesting for Red Rum. Another clutch potentially on the cards. Gonna skip through it. As a bag of milk just walks away from the fight. Just 20 seconds left here for a bag of milk to get on this defuse. Red Rum is playing this so perfectly. Gonna flick around, looking for the kill. Bag of milk wins it. There's time for it to get this defuse. He jumps on it in time, and the Goats from State Farm will take it.
Yeah, you needed more help there for Red Rum. 7-6. Chet couldn't get on the board, and that's never a recipe for success, you feel like, for this Flicka squad. A guy that I would say was maybe not the by leaps and bounds the best player for his team yesterday, but he definitely showcased that he very well was one of the reasons why Flicka got through their first round matchup. So no such thing happening here. And with that, Goats from State Farm move on. They get to the semifinals, and they, I think, become even more terrifying when you've got a player like a Bag of Milk who is playing as well as he is, and he's going to get the opportunity just to play for kills tomorrow in Gunfight.
Yeah, again, gunfight, the key difference maker for I think everybody here is going to be these guys are going to be in a very different position. I mean, I will say I feel like the bomb site, the existence of the objective really did kind of benefit a Bag of Milk there in a number of scenarios because the fact of the matter is a Bag of Milk was able to rotate over towards the A site when there were players just simply not over there, right? I mean, he was able to identify where they were on the map of the back of basically the bomb sites existing. So really great stuff here from the Goats from State Farm. They are our third team through to the semifinals. We just have one match up left tonight. It's Farm Team taking on 789. We have the lobby ready to go, I believe, anytime soon. But let's take a moment before we get into it to talk about our teams for this one, Alan. Sean Nolson versus Merkage. I think that's what I'm going with here.
Yeah, Sean looked great yesterday, through and through. He won a number of gunfights that were not just clean, but they were from some pretty difficult positions. So, yeah, I would say between him, Bag of Milk, and either of the two cow players, probably I would say the most capable individuals that we've seen so far. Yeah, it'll be interesting, I think, just to see how everything kind of unfolds, going into this next matchup. I think the maps will play some sort of factor in what we'll see come through. Merkage, if I'm not mistaken, was actually using the Growl yesterday throughout a lot of it, so we'll see if that comes into play kind of coming forward. But yeah, it's just kind of a wait and see.
Yeah, it is. Of course, we simply do not know how this is going to go down. What we do know is we were impressed with Farm Team and 789 yesterday. They looked both to be pretty great teams in their own right. They knew what to do. But as you say, I think, standout player here for me, Sean Nelson across the board. One of our MVP candidates as well. So this is another chance for you guys on Twitter. If you do want to get involved, you can do so with the hashtag Agency Showdown. Tweet at ABMedia if you want to put your vote in for MVP. We've already seen the other candidates today already in a Bag of Milk, Ice Badger, and Mr. Wobble. I believe Ice Badger already out of this tournament, of course, losing to Mr. Wobble earlier on. So if you want to put your nominations in, if you like the look of Sean Nolson's gameplay, you still have time to nominate him for MVP. Just make sure you head over to the Active Blizz Media Twitter to do so.
Yep, indeed the case. So hopefully we'll get into our lobby here soon.
That's the hope. Anyway, of course, we are looking for our last matchup of the night. Again, this is just to decide who will be joining our already placed 3 teams in the semifinals, which I believe starts at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm correct on that one. If not, people are going to be laughing at me for getting that wrong, but I think it is 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for the semi-finals. And again, guys, this is single elimination, so we'll only be seeing 3 matches tomorrow. It'll be just both semi-finals, one by one, and then, of course, the finals to decide who will be your Agency Showdown champions. And it's been a great experience again getting to cast this. And here is your bracket. It's Goats from State Farm versus the Off Patents. That will be one of our semi-finals tomorrow. And this is to decide our second wrecking crew. Having wrecked Mindshare earlier on, now looking for their semi-finalist who they face in either Farm Team or 789.
Should be interesting. I think that the favor naturally leads towards Farm Team, though. I think that, like we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, these guys are probably the best, if not second best team here. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say, dude. Just waiting for the gameplay now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready for the gameplay. I will also say, while we're here, because of course, this is our chance for you guys to see our faces. We'll get to talk about momentarily the Call of Duty League, because it is on these last 2 weeks. If you guys have missed it all year long, you've missed out on some incredible gameplay, some incredible casting across the board from our talent team over there in the CDL. It's just been a great season of Call of Duty action. And, well, we're going to close the door on Modern Warfare next weekend as the final 4 teams of the Call of Duty League fight it out for, I think, just over $3 million in total that's being handed out to the final 4 teams. It is going to be an incredible watch. Make sure you're there Saturday, 29th August on 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm sure all you guys in America, I think you've got like 4 different time zones over there. You can work out what time zone that is for you. But it's going to be great. Make sure you're there for 11 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to be the London Royal Ravens taking on the Chicago Huntsmen. I can't wait for it. Alan can't either. It's just what I'm ready for. I'm gonna be buying a ton of cereal just to eat it for finals time. That's what I'm gonna be doing all day long. I've just been sitting there on my TV, just munching on my cereal.
You're all stacked up and ready to go, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm gonna treat it like a cinema experience, right? I mean, instead of popcorn, I'm just gonna be having my my cornflakes just in one giant popcorn bucket.
Oh, you're a cornflakes fan, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I went with cornflakes just because I didn't know if the American viewers at home would have had Frosties. You know, I don't know if Frosties
is that like
US.
Frosted Flakes?
I think it might be Frosted Flakes,
which is just like it's just like cornflakes but frosted.
Yeah.
It's literally exactly what it is.
Yeah, that is basically what it is. So yeah, I mean, like, you guys have more cereal out there as well, right? I mean, you guys
we have so many sugar-based cereals for like kids and stuff. Like, yeah, so we've got tons of like Cocoa Puffs, Cocoa Pebbles, all of the fruity, sugary stuff. I was always a Cheerios fan. Do you guys have Cheerios out there?
Yeah, we do. We do have honey Cheerios, which are much better than the wheat.
Honey Cheerios are good.
Plain wheat Cheerios that people come out with. It's kind of sad, right? Because the healthy cereal is not nice here, which is sad. Unless it's like Special K. I don't know if you guys have Special K out there.
We've got Special K, yeah, with like yogurt and berries in it. I love those, dude. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah, that actually tastes really nice. Although I don't know if that's all that healthy for you either. Even though it acts like it's healthy, it probably.
No, it's got yogurt. It's got berries. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like the somewhat health conscious cereal.
Somewhat. So I hope you guys were ready for our cereal recommendations today. That's what we've got for you on stream. Forget the Call of Duty. We're here to talk about cereal and all kinds of food and what we have when we're watching the Call of Duty League, which is again what you should be watching because it's great. It's great fun. If you guys want to see how the pros do it, get your cereal together, get it in a popcorn bucket because that's not the weirdest thing I've ever done, and watch some Call of Duty. But for now, get your cereal, get your popcorn bucket to watch some Call of Duty because we've got our final match ready and raring to go. It's going to be the last 2 teams of the night, Farm Team and 789.
Arklov Peak is the map as well. And we talked about Sean. This is actually the map that we saw him beaming people on. So that's going to have to be the case again. Hunt, Ham, and Cheese, I believe both were SMG players. So you talked about Merkage being the player that you want to see do well for 789. He's going to be pretty much forced to do that. Farm Team, again, coordinated hit coming out. Those shots initially not even close, but they do at least shrug the player off the barrel, and now a stun comes through. This is going to be a hit. B-Man is going to be the first one up, and will finalize the kill into Ham and Cheese. So now it's going to be up to try to make a wraparound, and do you get into this B site from the window or the back door? That's the big question, as Sean is looking through the window, not going to see anything. Now towards the back, these are the shots that we were talking about. Very clean, very crisp. Merkage, last one left alive. 1v3, and B-Man's going to get this bomb planted. Merkage is close by, though. This very well still could be a position for him to make a play, but it's just so tough with all the numbers that are around him. Sean up top. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Apologies. 1 versus 3 from Merc. Looking for it. He's going to have to go in from behind. 20 seconds remaining. And B-Man takes the shot at the back. There's a kill surely coming in here for Merc. He goes round for the window. There's not a lot of time to work with. Ah, dear. And there it is. Player goes down. Farm Team takes him.
Again, clean shots from Sean. He just is one of those guys that is up for the MVP vote. I think it's very appropriate that he is. And, well, he's, again, showcasing exactly why we found favor for this team yesterday. Good start for him. How do you respond back here, though, if you are the side of 789? Ram 7 in hand for Hendrix.
I mean, I love it. I love the Ram 7, man. It's a strat. We've seen it in the pros. It's not quite the same setup that the Ram 7 is run with by the pros, but still, it's something. Hey, we're seeing some Call of Duty League meta coming in.
Nate's going out over towards A. Sean realizing that they haven't seen anything at B. Could be that direction, but I think he's maybe not realizing how slow 789 are playing. Could stun check from this position as well. Onto the A bomb specifically, as that is where the hit is coming from. You've got B-Man going for a long flank around the back. He's going to clear out the middle while doing so. In the trench, one player, Sean, reads it. Shot's a little shaky, deals more damage in the dirt than the player, but at least the flank comes out to keep things 2v2. Bomb gets planted. Hendrix try to work his way in. B-Man, nades come out. He finds a stun. That should be a pretty easy second kill. And Hendrix on the backside will find the third. Brilliant retake on the backside of the flank from B-Man.
There you go again. Farm team taking yet another round. What a great start from B-Man as well. 4-0. Hendrix is up there too at 1-0. This has just been, generally speaking, a great start. I will also say, I've just noticed this as well. Yesterday, Farm team, they had Beaumont on the roster. Today, Hendrix has come in, who I do remember being on Farm team in the first agency showdown. Of course, Sean Nelson is still here. So no Beaumont for today.
Yeah, that could be tough. Beaumont played pretty well yesterday. So, definitely another player that we would like to see more of. But 4 kills for B-Man off the rip is going to be really good. Again, we talked about why this team was so high up in our favor. All 3 players have good kill potential, and we're seeing that. Yeah, we're still looking at Sean as potentially being the best player on the team, but that conversation could very quickly change if B-Man can continue to do more work with this MP5.
B-Man stepping up to the plate here in game number 1 of this final matchup. Moving slowly but surely through the field towards B. Sean Nelson now going to go for the jump up. Looking for these kills. Ham and Cheese is just to his right. As soon as he jumps through this window, there should be a kill. They're actually going to walk away. The fates would have it that Sean is not going to get involved in that gunfight just yet. But sooner or later, Farm Team going to collapse on this A-bomb site. And when they do, Hammer Jesus is in that corner. Oh, no! Hendrix takes down his teammate. Almost a turn on as Ham and Cheesiest does lose the fight anyway. And now, Hunt left up in a 1 versus 2. This bomb site is Farm Team's.
Looking good. Sean sees a player up front. No problem there. Catches him just before the gunfight really fully breaks out. 3-0 we go. And we'll see the final kill just one more time, but with a little bit of slow motion at the end, just to add dramatics. But yeah, this has been convincing thus far. I think overall, this was the expectation that this team was, a Farm Team was going to have the favor coming in. Maybe we thought that 789 could bring some resiliency, mostly in the back end of Merkage, but so far it's been all Farm Team.
Farm Team looking pretty good early on here on Arklov Peak Search and Destroy. They're working the map a lot better than 789. And we'll see now if 789 can find something. So far, the only player across the board that has got a single kill is Hunt. And Merkage gets another one. He gets a slap in the back or against Ham and Cheesiest.
Okay. So now 3v2. Merkage will find some long-range shots, but that's only on to 1. He's going to need to find what would be the other 2. And Sean is, I think, pretty aware of where Merkage is positioned. He's going to peek the door just to check these windows. Nobody home, though. B-Man's with him at this B site, and well, Merkage, who literally punched his teammates to death, has to correct those mistakes, and he looks like he might wrap the bomb back over to A.
I mean, this is a good call from Merkage, I will say that much. Sean and B-Man have full control over this B site. There is literally no way that Merkage, in his current form at least, is making his way onto that B site and getting the bomb down successfully. I think the one thing I would say is if Merkage is going to make this rotation, he's got to do it pretty fast, and he is, to be fair, going to run straight down this trench, has a free bomb site. And again, the question, as we continually ask during this agency showdown, is how quickly does he realize it? There it is. The smoke goes out. He's getting this bomb down. And now it becomes a question of how quickly the Farm Team rotate and potentially get this defused.
The retake on the way. And Merkic is just playing from the trench. It's one of those positions that, yeah, you might be able to find one kill just unexpectedly, but the second will be hard to read because you're literally in a ditch. Sean's actually contesting. He's pushing forward, and he's going to walk right backwards into Sean's line of sight. No problem. Plenty of time for a defuse.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I will say it wasn't the best post-plant positioning from Merkic. I don't think sitting in the trench is the best idea. In that scenario, if you do, you might want to be a little bit more proactive than that. I think that's just sort of par for the course for post-plant positioning. But unfortunate there for Merkic. Loses the one-on-one engagement versus Sean Nolson. I say loses, he was never really in it. But great stuff from Farm Team. Round number 4 to them.
Oh, here we go. What do you do to change this, turn this game around here for 789? First and foremost, got to find some kills. Has to happen. Has to happen. And Hendrix has played well. He hasn't really had an opportunity much to get onto the board at the same level as Sean as B-Man, mostly because they're just killing everything so fast. So it'll be Hunt up top by the look of it. I can't really tell if that's a 6 or an 8 on my screen. If that's a Merkic or Hunt that's up top and hostile here. Sean from the backside. Okay, it is Merkic that's up top. Is he going to realize that there are more around? Doesn't make a difference. Hendrix able to respond with a nicely placed Semtex. The bomb was dropped for a moment, but it'll be picked up and likely immediately planted, and that's the case.
And there it is. Oh my god, Sean turns around. That is the awareness right there as Hunt not going to be able to pounce on the players. Ham and Cheesiest now. A 1 versus 2 against Sean Nolson and Hendrix. Sean goes for the post-plant positioning. The player, Ham and Cheesiest, runs right between the two, and one of them just eviscerates him as Farm Team now on map point here. A flawless Arklov peak from them.
.50 score. Goodness.
Well, this is something. I will say that much, right? I mean, kind of like anticlimactic for our final match of the night. Farm Team have run away with this one somewhat, but hey, you know, we always talk about the possibility for a full sale. If that is on the cards, you need to see every single player on 789 step up here.
Well, it's going to be a hit through the A site, and it looks like Hunt has already made his way pretty far forward through this trench. Sean, not sure where he wants to toss this frag. He holds onto it for longer than I think he meant to. Long-range shots will tag up one. Hunt will find a kill in the trench. Sean will get the information, realizing now that he's got to be a little bit more careful on the backside of this A site. He's got Hendrix pushing through mid. That's one threat down. Hendrix takes care of another, and unfortunately doesn't read that there's a second one deep. So now 1v1, Merkic versus Sean. This really is the strongest two players on both squads, playing for either a completion of Arklov Peak or an extension of it.
And Sean Nolson now, 7-1. We spoke about him. He's the MVP candidate for a Farm Team. Needs to win this one-on-one engagement to close out match number 1, or map number 1, sorry, in this best of 3. And currently still believes that Merkic is going towards A. You know, eventually he will rotate over, and with the noise that Merkic just made, he rotates, but this bomb goes down. So now Merkic, can he find the sneaky post-plant positioning that Sean won't expect?
Sean's making the read up front. Dead silence has expired though, and Merkic in the stump spot is just kept his head up too long. Easy kill, easy defuse, 6-0 we go. And yeah, this is, I think, you know, again, 8-1, 5-2, 4-2, all three members just holding their own. And I mean, this is likely going to be another pretty big runaway, I think, map number 2. And which means that we will see Farm Team going up against likely Wrecking Crew tomorrow in a gunfight tournament where it really does feel like it's going to be Sean and the rest of his team in a pretty face-up, pretty heavy gunfight battle versus the Cow Squad. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But of course, we still are needed to see that second of what will be this best of 3 here in this Search and Destroy matchup for this quarterfinal.
6-0. I mean, that's Clean. That's as clean as you like if you're a farm team. They had no problem dispensing with 789 there, and that was a less confident 789 as well, right? I mean, that's clearly a massive difference for me, is that 789 just did not look anywhere near as confident in that scenario. You take a look at their opposition, though, and farm team, they were going into every single gunfight knowing that they were going to win it, and I think that's the difference maker up there. On Arklov Peak, search and destroy. Don't know what I'm up to is just yet, but I don't think it matters all that much for a team like Farm Team. I don't think it was the map that benefited all that much. I mean, I know that Arklov Peak is quite unique and it is the most widest.
It's
map
huge,
in
man.
The game. It's thick with a number of Cs. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's big. And in a 3v3, we've talked about it before, how we don't normally see this in like Wager or other, abbreviated search and destroy tournaments, mostly because it really does feel like a ground war map when you only have 3 players from the start. And that's the thing, it's from the start. 3v3 after 45 seconds has come away. At least you're reading information after you lose a couple of teammates and they lose a couple of teammates. But when you're starting the map off 3v3, there's so much map that anyone could be at. So yeah, it's a tough one to kind of work your way around. So we'll see what we get for map number 2, and if that will hopefully favor 789 a little bit more.
Yeah, we shall see. It is going to be Hackney Yard. We've got the nice little animations that we don't get to see in the CDL as they make their way into the map. Farm Team going head-to-head with 789. And right off the bat here, it's going to be a 1-2 split. One player over towards A for 789, the other 2 defending B. Unfortunately, the split was incorrectly called as there's just the one player over defending A. The bomb is down, and now those 2 players who are over to B are going to have to rotate.
How do you retake this right now, though? You have to do it from the front. The MP7 will do well to take down B-Man. Over the middle, Hendrix able to read Ham before he can make his way in. So now 2v2 we go. Hendrix getting shot at from top L, staying alive just barely with the AC kind of being his bullet shield. I don't think he realizes that was up top, not down low. Sean should have been able to get that read as he's right underneath this. Smoke comes through. Hendrix wins another gunfight on Merkich, who is trying to flank around the back. And now for Hunt, he's also trying to make his way from the same position. And it'll be Hendrix for all 3 kills in the round, technically.
And that was time. Again, to be honest with you, I think 789, as soon as they lost that first kill, Hendrix, as you say, the star of the show there for Farm Team, as soon as they lost that first blood, it was done, in my mind at least. I think they were completely stunted as to how to break into that site, and Farm Team working very, very well off the back of Hendrix in that power position. So a 1-0 start for Farm Team. Again, their 7th successive round here across game number 1 and game number 2. And now, let's see. What can 789 do in response? They have full control over A as Farm Team make the move towards B, but it works out in the end. It's Hendrix on the flank, picks up Merkich. Sean in the mid-map picks up Ham and Cheesiest, and a knife from Sean. Surely not. I believe that was a explosive that landed near. Ends up killing him before the knife can do it. Oh, wow.
Interesting.
That was fast. That was so fast. I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw a nade out that fast before. Yeah, bro, that's like strong arm and fast hands together.
Quickest hands in the West. It's like
man.
Jesse James out here.
I was going to say John Marston, but sure.
Who?
Dude, don't even. Just please don't. Come on.
Is that like some kind of British cowboy?
No, it's Red Dead Redemption. Oh, come on, man.
Oh, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Right, we'll be discussing that later. Trust me. Farm Team, though. 2-0 up in this one. They get that bomb down on the Yield Faithful straight towards A. 789 in the same position they were previously. This time around, though, they've got 2 players up top L. Hendrix is going out to greener pastures, as it were. And now it's B-Man left up to defend this site in a 1 versus 3. Has 25 seconds to work with, protectively work this time. First kill right in front of him, going to go for it. But Hunt makes the smart play, jumps on the defuse, and that's great awareness from 789.
One of the first times we've seen someone decide to go for a defuse when not everybody was dead on the other team as well in the total, like in all of the weekend. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You got the numbers advantage like that. You've got control of the warehouse. There's no reason not to go for the defuse. So we'll see what comes up next here. This map playing much more favorably, I'd say, overall, though, for 789. Really just for Hunt, right? I mean, he's 5-2. He's doing very, very well. Ham and Cheese and Merc, you feel like they're not gonna stay empty for long. These are two guys that will for sure find kills. Hendrix, long flank, no trigger discipline there as he will take shots up top. That's gonna make the entirety of 789 aware that he's trying to hit from the flank, but Sean is able to double up. One more player. Up top scaffold, and Farm team able to find him from top side L3-1.
That was very quick, really, really quick. And again, props to 789 for actually making some proactive moves there. Unfortunately, Farm team were again just a lot faster to the draw, and that's the problem here. I feel for 789, even though they're able to win that 3 versus 1 clutch in the last round, this one wasn't as nice. And the Farm team now continue their 2-round advantage. We always get this nice little love heart from Farm team at the start of every single round. It's Sean showing us some love from his wherever he's playing from right now. He knows that we love his gameplay here on the casting list.
Nice opening shots from B-Man. First blood on the Merkage, who has not been allowed to get things to go. He's been killed so quick in these rounds. Sean taking down Hunt. Now it's just down to Ham, who still is searching for his first kill. Bomb will be planted likely here at A. Rotation coming from the backside of the warehouse for Ham. And every single angle is being covered right now.
Say every angle. Sean Nelson technically has 2 to work with, as B-Man isn't actually watching that under L positioning. But it doesn't matter anyway. Smoke comes out. This could work in the favor of Ham and Cheese. Hello, Sean? Okay, Sean gets the kill anyway. Let's Ham and Cheese walk away with it. Maybe just giving him a little bit of hope before he crushes it right in front of him. And Farm team get round number 5.
Yep, things looking still pretty calm and collected through and through. 4-1. The current tally. Farm team not running away with it nearly as badly as they were in Orklov Peak, but I would still say they are running away with this one at the moment. They're just not breaking world records, we'll say that much. And now Sean will be going over to the B site. He's going to have somebody with him. They're both going to go up top, and this prediction looks to be pretty good. Just comes down to if Sean checks over to his left. Not going to need to, actually, as the bomb rotates back over to the middle of the map.
Farm team. Now in a great position here to rotate over towards A. Again, it's the reads, but Hunt comes in from behind, picks up B-Man, and Sean is going to get traded out by Hendrix, who has been the star of the show here for Farm team. But now 1 versus 2. He does pick up the first kill. So Hendrix here. This is a manageable situation, but again, time not on your side if you're Hendrix. You've just got to go for this. Picks up the first. Now, this is a spot we saw, I don't know who it was the other day, sat in that corner and got turned on. We don't want to see that here from Ham and Cheesiest, but it doesn't matter anyway. Hendrix goes up top. A reposition from Ham and Cheesiest just doesn't work out, and Hendrix, smart decision from him, pulls off a 1 versus 3.
5-1 the tally. Ham and Cheese. All right, brother, we're sending you all of our energy. Kill number 1's coming this round. We're feeling it. No agents this time. No 007s. He's going to get this kill. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. My toes and my fingers, all my bones. It's coming.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree, to be honest with you, Shift, mate. I like a 5-1 performance from Farm team. We saw them get 6-0 in that last game. This is so good from them. And already off the start, Hendrix is just beaming people. Unfortunately, isn't able to finish off any of those gunfights, but still puts into enough damage where a teammate could potentially finish off the kill. Farm team here looking for it, but Merkage with the car bomb does take out B-Man. Hendrix with the trade, Sean with another, and Merkage now needs to perform the 1 versus 2 clutch to keep 789 alive. The shots go off. Merkage reveals his position, and Sean comes round the corner looking for the final kill. Gets it, no stress. Farm team are in our final 4.
Deservedly so, and now they have a date with Destiny. It'll be gunfight between them and what I would say is the other favored team for the entire tournament in the Wrecking Crew. That's going to be a good one, man. That's going to be a really good matchup. I think probably our champion lies within one of those two teams. But that said, everything changes, and in gunfight, you very well could solo carry your entire team. So for teams like Goats from State Farm with a bag of milk, very well could be just enough prevalence just to have one player carry you all the way through into that grand finals and maybe do a championship.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see our final 4 teams. Let's take a look at our bracket. At the end of day number 2, Goats from State Farm versus the Off Patterns. As Goats from State Farm, they beat the Atlanta Phoenix and Flicker to get here. The Off Patterns, they take down 4 p.m. Cleanout and KD conversion rates from today. And on the other side, Wrecking Crew and Farm Team. Wrecking Crew, they go through Spark Chicago and Mindshare with no problem at all. Farm Team, they don't have that much of an issue either. Assistance Assemble and 789 in quick succession. And we're down to our final 4 teams just like that, Shift.
Yeah, I still think that Wrecking Crew and Farm Team are the 2 favorites, but we saw really good stuff from Off Patents today. All 3 players really kind of showing up, and they're going to need that in gunfight. You talked about, again, the rotation of the weapon classes will be there every 2 rounds, so you can't pull in your normal loadout that you would like to usually use. But now that we've seen that the Off Patents are bringing in a more strong supporting cast than we were framing up into the first day, they very well could have potential to get to that grand final. It's going to be interesting. I think that there's storylines for each of those 4 teams. So, yeah. 4:00 p.m. Eastern start time for us tomorrow on that semifinal with Goats from State Farm and the Off Patents to kick us off.
Yeah, going to be super interesting to see how that matchup is going to be going down. 4 p.m. Eastern time is the time to be here on the stream for our final day of matches for the second agency showdown. It's been a pleasure casting day 2 of action. I just can't wait for it. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel so you get the alert for when we do go live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a banger to close out the day. Gunfight is where it all changes up, and tomorrow we will have our agency showdown champion. We'll see you guys then.